Hi, you're live. Oh, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, quite a bit. We can keep going. Keep going even more. We need more. Yeah. Boom, bam. What's up, my friends? Okay, let me come over here real quick and make sure that we got the setup here. YouTube changed their rules and a lot of the stuff that they're doing with how to go live and broadcast. So I'm not going to lie. I thought it was one way and it wasn't. It was the other way. So we are setting this up real quick. Boom, bam. We have the offer mine. I have to make sure I'm live on the actual page, which I believe I should be. Let's see here. Yeah, there's usually a little bit of a loop, so we're just trying to make sure that everything's set up correctly here. So give us just a moment here, and then while we're setting this up real fast here, if you guys can go over to the side here, just let me know what it is you're most excited to learn. This is actually working perfect. That looks awesome. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Let's see. Let me share, and we'll put this in. So anyways, hey guys, the whole purpose of this thing is to teach you guys how I create my offers and why they work. And pretty much it's the exact opposite of what you guys would expect it to be. Let's see here. I'm gonna go live. All right, so YouTube says I'm live. Give me like 2 seconds here. I'm just embedding the new stream key on ClickFunnels. Boom. And then now we should be good to go. I'm excited about. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's grab this bad boy. Put it in right there. Give me just a moment, guys. Oh, what's up? Sweet. Okay, you guys are live with me. Awesome. All right, give me a moment. Let me fix this whiteboard here so it's not all reflecty, because it totally is, and that's freaking annoying. And what's up, Ashley, Victor, James? What's up, guys? How you doing? You guys see me finally on this thing? It's interesting because it takes like a round or two here for this like to pop live. Hey, all right. Now I'm getting the feedback loop. Okay, now it's live. What's up, my friends? Give me just a moment here. We're going to adjust the cameras so that it doesn't look all goofy and crap. If you could come over to the side real quick, though, just let me know. You can hear me, right? YouTube changed some of their setup on actually getting these things running. And so, okay, you see me. Thank you very much. The African Grow, best coach ever. Thank you so much. You guys can hear me, though? Let me know if you can hear me. Nice. Okay, cool. Hey, thank you very much. It should be streaming through my sweet mic, and we're just making sure everything's set up correctly. Go over to the side real fast, and I did appreciate like crazy I dropped a little ask campaign, and I was asking you guys what it is that you guys are struggling with the most. I am extremely prepared. I'm very excited for this. I'm excited to walk through this stuff with you guys and teach you guys what we're doing here. So, let me just raise that so it's not chopping my head off a little bit. And I'm going to move some of these lights real quick here. Drop in what you're most excited through, though. I'm going through the boot camp. You're awesome. Hey, thank you, digital marketpreneur. Let's move this here. Nice. Changing the lights around a little bit. Is that mo better? It's a little bit more better. Okay, ooh, that's way more better. All right. Sweet. All right, cool, guys. Hey, let's make sure that this is set also on this other side. Now, someone kept asking, like, how long will each session be? I have no idea. All right, I'm just going to teach. I'm going to go, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to go. And then we'll get to that. I'll probably keep going. Okay. This is going to be 3 days, and it's going to be a while, and I'm going to jump into this. So what you guys are going to see me do here is I'm going to just look at that light over there. It's messing up a little bit. All right. My bad, guys. We're setting up those last few pieces on this stuff. And we should be ready to rock now. It still looks goofy right there, doesn't it? I see it. All right, so any questions you guys have throughout this thing, just know that Colton is also on the other side, and he's going to be answering any questions you guys got going on. Someone said Mo Betta. It is Mo Betta, huh? It's Mo Betta. It's Mo Betta. Okay. Sweetness. All right. Don't look at the clock. Yeah. Chill out about the clock. All right. I'm going to go as long as I need to. And make this awesome here. So, all righty, guys. Excited for this. Let's get this going. Hey, so the whole purpose of this whole thing, like I was saying, is I'm actually filming this as a course for, it's called Offermind Masterclass. And part of the reason why we're doing this is so I'm not filming it right now. You guys are going to see me take a break for just a moment and then step back and be like, all right, now we're going to go live, right? And I'll act like you're not there, and I'm just going to teach off the camera there. I've got my mic set up over here. My big old boom mic sitting right here. Hopefully you guys can hear that clearly and stuff, right? Because we're going to be using this, and I'm super stoked about it. So I thought, how sick would it be if you guys like got to participate in the creation of this, right? I mean, how awesome would that be? So throughout, so this is what's going to happen. Basically, I am going to jump into teach mode, and I'm going to teach this from the top. And I'm going to go through pretty much the entire. It's going to be an abbreviated Offermind, and I'm doing it for many reasons. But then what will happen is periodically throughout, I'm going to be taking a break, and I'll stop and I'll look over at the comments over here and see like, hey, that made sense, right? X, Y, and Z, right? Because what we'll do afterwards is we'll take these videos and we'll certainly rip them. We'll take them down so that we can chop them up, make them really nice so that they're cool for the community and such. So that's what we're doing. Nice. Yeah, Coltons don't grow on trees. Exactly, Ron. Exactly. You're exactly right. Just look at that reflection. It's pissing me off a little bit. You see it on the whiteboard right there?
Yeah. Is it that? It looks like it's coming through there.
Soup. I think we're, oh, I see what you're saying.
It's coming through that.
It's a piece right there. Sweet. All right, you guys ready for this? So session number 1, this is going to be all about how to choose a market. And I'm about to go in teach mode here. So let me back up so I don't go in teach mode. So I'm gonna press go mentally, and we're gonna get started on this. What I did was I took a lot of cool. Yeah, I need that king board. I know. I do need a king board here. People asking where you are. Colton's right here. He's right there. Yeah, they're asking. They wanted to know. Is the dude pulling it off on his own? No, it takes a Colton, and they don't grow on trees, right? Whoa, the man himself! What?
I'm freaking stoked for this, guys.
It's going to be awesome. It'll be super fun. Don't forget the drawings for free stuff. Anyway. This is free stuff. You don't have to be here. I'm going to teach some sweet crap. All right. Let me move into this. And we'll get to the right space. All right. You guys ready for this? Now, in the past, when I've taught this session, it's been about a 2-hour thing. So I'm going to dive deeply into this, and we're going to go and we're going to get started. Capiche? Capiche? All right. Here we go. And all right. We're ready. Let's go. Thanks, man. I need a whiteboard. This is my 5th whiteboard. Oh, man. We got what's called whiteboard overkill. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to stop looking at the comments here, else I'll get distracted. So I'll look at myself here, and then I'll pause after a while, and I don't know, I'll raise something, I'll do something crazy, so in the video we know. So I got my actual camera behind over there, so that we know, like, hey, make an edit right here, so then it looks sick and awesome. So anyways, all right, here we go. All right. I always do this every time. It's weird with you guys live. All right, here we go. Make sure that good to go. Okay. Always draw a framework before you start. I'm consulting my framework. All right. Boom! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson. Welcome back to the OfferMind Masterclass. I'm really excited to have you guys here. This is brought to you by Sales Funnel Radio and OfferMind. I'm excited for this because what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how I actually go and launch a product. There is far more to it than I think most people realize, and it's something that is kind of becoming a little bit of a dying art, which is one of the reasons why I've moved into the space that I have. And today I'm going to teach you guys a lot of it's not tricks, but it is literally a method that I use to launch stuff. Now, I know a lot of you guys, you already know my story, but just real briefly, my wife and I got married and we had nothing. And a lot of people are that way. And that's, I'm not saying like, woe is me, but I couldn't feed her and it really messed with my psyche. And I started realizing that I was not going to be able to feed my wife. And a lot of you guys know the story. I went and I asked my dad for money and he said no. And he said, if I give you this money, you're not going to exhaust the resources you didn't know that you had. And it was very wise. And what was cool about that whole scenario is it put me on this path. It actually turned on this fire in the gut that I feel like most entrepreneurs fail to get. And most entrepreneurs have a hard time with it. They actually can't go and function because they're like, it's not a need thing, right? It's not a want thing. It's not either of those. It's just kind of like I dabble. And it got me out of that. And I was no longer dabbling in business. I had to do it so we could eat, right? And I put myself voluntarily against the wall after that. And anyway, it's been a crazy journey. So I ended up spending about 3.5 years and about 12 business tries, and nothing worked. And what I kept doing was I would go out and I would launch stuff. And this is the way I would launch stuff. I actually remember the first website I ever built. It's pre-ClickFunnels, before it ever existed. It was a website, and what it was it was WordPress, actually. So it was WordPress, and I spent days on this thing, building out this thing and following the theme. And I was literally, I found a 2-hour, it was a 2-hour tutorial on how to actually build basically the equivalent of what is now a Shopify site on WordPress. And it was a 2-hour tutorial. And I was like, this is so sick. Oh my gosh. And I went and I spent all this time creating this website. And I emerged after it was done, and I was so excited. I remember like opening up the door, the dramatic smoke, the steam music in my head. This will be awesome. And I opened it up, and the way I would launch things back then was I would just like make a Facebook group or page, and like that was it. I didn't even know the difference between a group and a page at that time. And there wasn't a launch, right? There was no market research. There was none of that stuff. And what I'm about to teach you guys today and throughout this course, and why I'm doing this, is I'm actually going to teach you guys what I've learned since then. Since then, right, I became a funnel builder. I bootstrapped my way to Russell Brunson's Funnel Hacking Live event. I became his funnel builder personally. And I went and I built his personal clients' funnels, ClickFunnels funnels, my own clients, and I've just been immersed in this world now ever since ClickFunnels had just barely left beta, which is, like almost 4 years now or whatever. But before that, I was launching lots of stuff on the internet as well, and nothing was working, right? And so what the huge issue with this and the way mainstream entrepreneurship teaches it is that there is way too much risk involved with it. So what I'm going to teach you guys is it's what's been cool is it's worked well for the new entrepreneur, but it's also worked very, very well for the existing company. So I don't care what side you're coming from, whether it's you are experienced and you've got this, an awesome business you're trying to scale and blow up. Frankly, that's mostly who hires me to come in is and tweak their stuff. The other side, though, is there is these new entrepreneurs, right? And how do you get something out into orbit and actually launch something that is interesting, that's exciting, that is something that people can be pumped about, right? And that doesn't have as much risk. Now, in college, I was taught the wrong way to launch something. So I'm going to teach you just a few things real quick. And the biggest piece I hope you guys are taking notes, by the way. You guys are in this course. You're actually taking notes. You got to get a piece of paper out here. I'm going to draw a lot. I'm very visual in how I learn and how I teach. And I'm not a good drawer. I'm not very good at being an artist or whatever, but just follow along as I do this. I remember the first successful company that I built for. It was a sales funnel for this company that was selling water machines. And this water machine company, they would, I did all kinds of market research with them, right? Some of the first questions I ever asked to them was, hey, who's your dream customer? And it was a water machine company. It was like hydrogen water stuff. They're an awesome company. And what was cool was their product was awesome. But I will tell you that I realized that why they were surviving was because their product was awesome, not because they had a great business or revenue model. Okay, and this is how I learned it. I started asking them things like, who's your dream customer? And they said, well, Steven, everybody drinks water, and we have this referral program where people can get cash if they refer their friends. So everyone drinks water and everyone wants more money. Everybody's our dream customer. And I was like, no, that's the exact opposite of what marketing actually is. That's dumb. Like that is, no, that it doesn't work that way, right? That is 100% not how this works. And what was fascinating is like, I kept doing this, and it was, I started practicing all the things I was learning from all these gurus. And this was, again, about 4 years ago. And what was interesting about this whole thing was I go and I launch it, and it works. And this funnel starts bringing in money, right? And this funnel's bringing in money, and it's dropping cash in their pockets. And I'm like, whoa, right? It was all this validation because I had been trying to make a funnel work, or a business, I should say, for 3.5 years by that point. And I had gone through like 12 failures that were very painful. And so to have money, just a lot of it's just coming on in, I was like, this is so validating, right? I can't wait. This is a big deal. And I was so pumped about it. I was excited. I could not wait to keep doing the next one and the next one, and the next one. You know, it's kind of a drug, to be honest. You know, it's fun. It's addicting to launch stuff. And what was interesting, though, is I launched it, and this has happened 3 times now. And I'm just trying to teach you guys the power of what I'm going to teach you guys here. I want you guys to understand, and I want to demonstrate that to you. 3 times now, I've almost bankrupted companies, right? This was the first time personally. The other 2 was when I was with Russell building funnels for his people. Okay. And what I asked, it was interesting. So I launched the thing, and then afterwards I went and I said, okay, when it launches, like, be prepared. There's going to be all these sales that come in. Like, are you prepared for it? And it was funny because their attitude towards it was like, yeah, no, we got it, Steven. We got it. You sell, we'll fulfill. And 3 times now it's happened where day number 1, we launched the thing, we launched the funnel, we launched the product, and they're like, whoa, right? They always call, whoa, this is a lot of sales. This is amazing. Oh, holy crap, this is a big, big deal. Oh my gosh, that's nuts, right? And the next day, the next day they call and they're like, oh my gosh, Steven, this is a lot of sales. This is a ton of sales. Oh, wow, holy crap. And it was crazy, right? It was nuts. They said, and then the third day they'd say things like, I gotta hide the freaking chat over here because I can't stand looking at it over here. You guys keep talking. There we go. Chat's hidden. Okay. The third day, what happened was all these people would call to us from the company. They'd be like, Steven, you got to turn this off, right? You got to turn this off. And I remember the first time it ever happened, I was like, no. Why would I ever turn off your funnel? Who wants less sales, you psycho, right? And it was funny. That was the attitude that I came with it at. And what was interesting was that I stopped answering the phone, and 2 weeks later, somebody called, and they kept calling, and the COO would call, and these other people in charge of marketing, those support people, they'd be like, Steven, turn off the funnel. And finally, 2 weeks later, the CEO called, and he goes, dude, turn off the funnel. And I said, why? I was frustrated by all their inquiries. I said, why, dude? Why would you want less sales? He goes, Steven, you're going to bankrupt us. All right. You're selling so fast that I have to take business working capital, my business cash, to go buy more product to fulfill as fast as I can, but it sucks all the cash out of the business. I can't pay my people. I can't do any of this. You're literally going to bankrupt my company by selling too much. It was the first time in my entire life, even though I was in a marketing degree and I was going through it, first time in my life that I ever realized the stark difference between a funnel and a business, right? A funnel is not a business. And why I'm telling you this is because I want you to understand what I'm going to walk you guys through here. I'm not going to talk to you about business setup, okay? A funnel is not a business though, okay? So when you go in, you're like, this is one of the major reasons why people suck it up for a while, is they come in here and they build this funnel, right? And then they get this influx of cash, and then they can't sustain it anymore, right? The funnel is not the business. The funnels don't equal the business. Is this the right way on your side? Okay, it is. Sweet. Just making sure. Make sure it's not like opposite. Just flipped for me in my view. But anyway, right? The funnel doesn't equal the business. And so just understand what I'm going to teach you guys and specifically what we're going to go through in this. And the reason for this masterclass, I'm not going to at all, we are not talking about business structures, right? I'm not going to talk to you guys about setting up certain kinds of automation. The whole purpose of this is what does it take to not only get a funnel out off the ground and out into orbit, but also the offer, the funnel, right? The actual launch campaign. If we can, maybe we'll get into like my content machines, things like that. But it's the deep dive into what actually makes a successful funnel and what gets it out the door. Okay, that's a huge deal. Most people don't do that. And most people don't survive the transitions when they start actually building it and they launch. What happens after that? Most funnel builders never succeed. And a lot of it is because of what I'm going to teach you guys here. You can make pop shots of cash pretty easily in this game. Okay, because most people don't understand what a funnel is. And since you do, right, or if you don't, we'll walk through it anyway, right? But since you do, it's really easy for you to get this massive string of attention. Bam, right? This huge amount of attention in one shot, and a lot of cash can come from it. But the reason sustainability doesn't happen afterwards is a lot to do with what I'm going to teach you guys. So what I used to build funnels in is I would come in, I would build a funnel, and then I remember the first funnel I ever hacked, right? It was actually this. It was the .com Secrets book funnel, and I modeled it quite closely. Okay, I didn't steal anything, but I modeled very closely because I wasn't a copywriter, right? I didn't know how to do that kind of stuff. So what I would do is I remember I hacked the funnel, and he had like the book, and then he had an upsell, then he had another upsell, then he had the thank you page, and I believe there was a downsell as well, and that was the funnel. And so what I would do is that was the first thing I would go do is I build a funnel. The second thing I would go do is after the funnel was built, because I would go and I would ask myself, okay, now that I have hacked the living crap out of this other person's successful funnel, what should I sell? And I would go in, and number two, the second thing I would do is I would then start asking myself, what is it that I need to go and actually sell? And I would ask myself, okay, on this page, the thank you page, what needs to go on there? Maybe there's like a thank you page offer. I don't know, right? On this OTO right here, the second upsell right here, this OTO number 2, right? What is there, right? And what is here? And the problem with that is that I started learning very, very quickly that I was building an offer based off of the constraint of the funnel that I had hacked. That is 100% the wrong order to do this. Right, and so I would go in, and I got here's like the order page, right? And everything that I was doing that was coming second, everything that I was building as far as what I was selling would come second. That's a big problem. That's a huge issue, right? And then number 3, what I would do is I would pop in and I would say, okay, now that I have the funnel, I've got the offer, let's go ahead and I got to figure out how to actually write sales copy. And so I would go in then and I would figure out what kind of copy do I put on the page. What kind of copy do I put on here? How do I sell this thing? How do I sell this thing? How do I sell the downsell, right? How do I sell all these different things? And the issue with this is that when I would build, right, the funnel and then the offer, my writing's not amazing. So you got to just, it's funny I draw so much, but my writing's not actually that awesome. Anyway, right, I build the funnel and I build the offer, and then I would actually figure out how the thing sells, and I build the sales message. The problem with it is that the problem with that is that I build an offer based off the constraints of the funnel I had hacked. And then I build a sales message based off the constraints of the offer I built, which was based on the funnel that I'd hacked, right? And it was the exact opposite way to pull this stuff off. And the major, major issue with that is that I am not at all adhering to the customer. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys some stuff in this game. I'm going to teach you, and I'm just kind of setting the stage here a little bit because this is a masterclass. There's 6 sessions. I'm going to go deep, and there's going to be a lot of things that, frankly, I've never taught that I've been using. And even if you've seen the OfferMind replays from the first year, there's going to be some things in the ways I teach them that are more simple than how I taught them then as well. Okay, I heard this really cool quote this morning that said, "Perfection is not when you can add more things, when there's nothing else to add." It says something like that. Perfection is not when there's nothing else to add. It's when there's nothing else to take away. I was like, oh, that's awesome, right? Simplicity, 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 right? Simplicity is the ultimate complexity. There's tons of quotes like that. One of my other favorite quotes, I got quotes on my ceiling over there. Anyways, I can't remember it. Yeah, basically the subtraction of information equals intelligence is basically the point of it. But I'm trying to help you guys understand, like, on a very simple level, what it takes to be successful in this, and that you don't have to be a psycho nerd like Steve Larsen or Russell Brunson or Julie Stoyan or all the people in the who's who. You don't have to be. That was one of my biggest fears. As I was like, I'm not a Russell. I can't do the same things that he does. I'm not a Steven. Meaning like Steven, this guy. There was another guy I was looking at. His name was Steven. I have him in my mind. Right? I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not that lady. I can't be like that. Okay. What I'm going to teach you here is models that cause success as a default. This is some powerful crap. Okay. And I want you to know, like, if you just buckle up with me and stick around and understand like what we're doing here and why it matters so much, these are really powerful strategies. This is not stuff I just read in a book. It definitely had, I've read books, a lot of them. I've done a ton of coaching, lots of coaching. Okay. I've done a lot of stage speaking. I've done a lot of this personally. A lot of my personal clients, my high-end clients that a lot of you don't know about, right? This is what I do with them. We walk in, and it's gotten so boiled down that I know I can go do like the same 4 or 5 things every time. And regardless of what they sell, regardless if they're new, right? Regardless if they're existing or if they have a list, they're very likely to have a lot of success. Okay, that's what I'm going to walk through here. So a lot of things that you guys have heard me teach on Sales Funnel Radio. You've heard some of these stories, but I actually want to go and dive into the actual concepts now and why they've been so powerful and why they work so well. Yeah? Sick? All right, check this out. So I'm going to go in and I got my notes here to make sure that we've got everything moving forward as we need to. I'm going to start at the very top, and some of you guys, again, you might know some of this. A lot of you guys may not. And if you already do know it, please don't make the major mistake of saying, but I already know this. Okay? Relearn it. I've re-listened to tons of stuff. All right. So the exact opposite order is how we do this. First, we build the sales message. Then we build the offer. Then we build the funnel in that order. But as I started coaching and doing a lot more coaching with people, and I realized, oh my gosh, I shouldn't build the funnel first. First, I need to figure out what the sales message is, and then I need to figure out what the offer is, and then I need to figure out how to build what funnel best displays what I've created so far. Right in that order. I believed that was the huge way to do this for quite a while. I'm speaking in past tense. Okay, check this out. So first it was funnel. First it was sales message. Then offer, right? Then the funnel, right? And for a while, I was like, this is how you do it. Guys, there is an entire world ahead of this that makes this way easy. That's what I teach, okay? Yes, I am a professional funnel builder and offer creation guy. Sales message, I know enough to sell a lot. I would not ever consider myself, right now anyways, a professional copywriter. Okay, but I know how to write copy. I know frameworks that cause success. Okay, and I want you to understand, like, what I'm going to share with you guys, it's not more sales message offer stuff. It's actually all the stuff over here that fuels this. That's why this content's been so prolific for so many people. There are things ahead of this, way, way ahead of the sales message offer and funnel that I go and do that helps dictate what I do over here. And when more you understand this stuff that I'm going to go through right now, it's very easy to write a sales message. It's very easy to do a funnel and an offer. Okay, super easy. Okay, and I hope that actually alleviates some of your fears with this stuff. If you guys are brand new, that's okay. Understand that you're not at a disadvantage because you don't have a giant list. Okay, I didn't either like 3 years ago. Okay, no one knew who I was. This show wasn't even started yet, right? Like, you got to understand, like, I'm a product of what I'm about to tell you guys. I'm a product of this product, and I believe I am the least likely success story. Okay, I didn't have things in my favor. I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this as a coach. This is going to come from a coach standpoint here real quick, and then we'll actually dive into this. But from a coach standpoint, I spend a lot of time teaching this stuff to people, specifically these things. Okay, my personal expertise and where I actually live in, my business survives out here, though. This is what I help companies understand and know. And then it's really easy to do this. They can outsource the majority of this, okay? Only if they know these things ahead of time, all right? But here's what the pattern has been, though, okay? I don't care about flash in the pan strategies and techniques. I don't care about them. I don't want to know them. Who cares? I still don't know how to drive a Facebook ad. I don't want to learn that. I won't learn it. Why? I'm not going to go learn that, okay? Because Facebook can change. I don't want to learn stuff that can change. None of my stuff that I go through and teach with people It's not about stuff that's flash in the pan things. Is this content still up to date? Yeah, because I hate stuff that changes, okay? I don't want to go relearn another thing. The algorithm updated. Ugh, like, that sucks, man. I hate that crap, okay? So understand that what I'm going to teach you guys, they are models that are very firm. They're very evergreen, but that's not where people screw it up. Where people screw up this game is that I start teaching them the models, these models, the frameworks, whatever it is. I teach them a model, and then they're over here, and this disgusting thing happens called opinions and personal scenarios, right? Where they see this for the first time, and then they're like, I think that could work, but a wheel should really be made looking like a square. And I'm like, no. Just because you don't know how to ride the bike doesn't mean this circle wheel is wrong. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell you guys, as I do this and as I start teaching this and we go through this, like you've got to understand that there's two things that happen. Number one, you're going to be learning a lot of these models that you may not have learned before. And a lot of this stuff and these criteria that I look through way before I ever build anything, way before I start building a sales master's offer or funnel. There's two things though, okay? As I'm building these models, as I'm teaching them to you, you need to be cognizant, not of what you're learning, but your reaction to it, okay? You've got to understand that. That is the biggest thing that just pisses me off. And right now I'm the daily coach for the One Funnel Away coach. One Funnel Away Challenge, the One Funnel Away Challenge I'm on basically every day. And I know a lot of you guys who check this out will probably come from that, which is great. Welcome. Okay. But then also, so I'm a 2 Comma Club X coach. I helped create the original program. I have my own high-ticket programs that a lot of people don't know about, and I kind of keep under wraps for very specific reasons. And it's been very successful because of that. Anyway, but the biggest thing I notice is that when I'm teaching stuff, it's not, well, Stephen, should I write my name like with letters, or should I like try and draw it with it? You know what I mean? They try and find these weird ways around it. I'm in a different scenario, Stephen. The tire is square. And I'm like, no, it's not. Just because you don't know how to ride the bike doesn't mean it's not good to have it be a circle. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? Understand that you gotta be cognizant of the two things that are happening every time you learn something new. Not just what is the model, but you gotta be cognizant of what is my reaction. What is my reaction to this? Well, I'm in a different scenario. No, you're not. All right, get over it. You're special, not that special, okay? 80% of what you're going and doing right now, right? I would wager even more than that, okay? Like 90, 95%. There is a very small percentage where you get to exist and be completely unique. Most of it, though, is on the back of things that have already been created, like 95% of these models. It doesn't matter what you sell. Well, I don't sell online. I sell offline. Great. Welcome. You're still in the right place, okay? And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to teach you guys these things, but just be cognizant of it because it pisses me off. Stephen, I'm in a different scenario here. You can just click the X. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go and I'm going to dive into this now, and we're going to officially start this first session here. Now, this session here is all about what's called choosing a market. And choosing a market is one of the most crucial pieces of everything. What I started noticing and learning is that as I would be teaching, as I'd be sharing with people and as I'd be coaching, people started having a lot of success, right? That first 2 Comma Club coaching program that I had the honor of helping to organize content for, it's Russell's content, right? I just helped organize a lot of it. What was fascinating is a lot of people started hitting the 2 Comma Club. Boom, 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 right? It was just me as the coach. And what I started noticing and realizing is that there were people in there who were fantastic sales message writers, right? A ridiculous offer. Like they had the most insane offer, right? Amazing funnel, but they'd be broke. And I was like, what? This is really good. Why are you broke? Right? And then over on the flip side, though, there'd be these people who like have the most ridiculous, stupid, disgusting looking funnel ever. Okay, they would have like it was awful, right? Or they would have a sales message that was like, I mean, you could tell it was juvenile, or you could tell that it was something that wasn't like, wow, I'm surprised that tactic is still working. That's been around for a long time, and I thought the market would be sick of it by now. Why are you selling so much? Okay, and this is what I started realizing is that there were people who were having major success, not because of the funnel offer and sales message, right? Those parts were needed and they were key. But what was making it successful, even when they weren't amazing at those things, was their positioning in the marketplace, right? So I started studying positioning like crazy. And when it comes to positioning, what I'm going to teach you guys here, so I call it, choose a market or market selection. I actually don't even think about what I want to sell until I've chosen this. Did you hear what I just said? Okay. I don't even think about a sales message, what I want to sell and offer, or even what funnel I'm looking to build. But guys, that's like step number 99 in what I'm about to teach you here. Okay. This is all the pre-funnel. This is all the pre-offer, the pre-sales message, way before I even start to think about those things, right? The reason this is so powerful is because I'm not the one that fills my wallet. I'm not the one filling my wallet. Right? So my opinions, well, I don't know that I don't really know if I want an offer like that. You're not the one buying it. Right? You're not the one who's taking your wallet out. You got to get over that. You're not the one who's sitting back and going like, yeah, this would be a good thing. Okay. So like, I got to tell you, like, what I'm going to teach you here is extremely powerful. You can be very unethical with it if you choose, just like anything in life. Please be ethical. Please be moral. But understand the power of what I'm teaching you here. You can be an F-level funnel builder. You can be a terrible offer creator. You can be really bad and still make more money than most 9-to-5ers ever will. Okay, because of what you are going to learn and because of your positioning in the marketplace. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so key. So it's everything before the funnel. If you guys came to Funnel Hacking Live, I had a chance to go through a very small checklist compared to what I'm actually going to bring you through now of things that I look for in a market. But before I can even look at that, right, that's really what next session is about. I'm going to teach you guys what to know about a market now that you know what it is. But before you even know, we got to choose the market. Okay, I need to teach you what that is. I need to show you what that is. Okay, so this is what we're going to go do. Now, if you guys haven't read the book Expert Secrets, as soon as all this is over, I give you permission to literally slack on every other thing in your life and go read that book. Okay, we go and we start this. Okay, this is I'm going to teach this, but it's going to be kind of in a different way than you probably have seen it. Okay. There's 3 core markets or 3 core desires. I actually don't like to call them markets. There's 3 core desires that we all spend money for with very little thought. Okay. We are all willing to spend money to increase our health, our wealth, and our relationships. And the reason why we choose those things is because it's one of those no-duh buying experiences, right? Like, I don't need a salesman in the bread aisle at the grocery store. It's a no-duh buying experience. Well, duh. Like, I can sell myself on why I'm going to go buy the bread or the eggs or whatever, right? I can sell myself. And one of the reasons why we choose health or wealth or relationships, and we lead with only one, is because it's one of those no-duh places that people are willing to spend, right? Are there more desires than that? Sure. Okay, but these are those places where it's very easy for people to justify opening their wallet. I can see why I would spend money on my health, right? That's kind of, I don't even need to explain it. It feels stupid to explain. You're like, Steven, yeah, you don't need to explain it, right? That's the reason why we sell into it, is because I don't need to explain it. Why do you think you should sell people on why they should be healthy? Like, it's kind of a stupid thing, right? That's why, that feeling, but come on. Exactly, okay? Okay, health or wealth. Most people understand that a lot of times, which I actually don't agree with, it takes money to make money. And I didn't start with any money. I had no VC funding. What I'm going to show you guys here will make it so you can negate all those models. Okay, but health, wealth, a lot of people know, like, when you can spend money, though, you'll make money back faster. And that is definitely true. Okay, relationships. People want relationships. And I'm going to walk through reasons why we want them so badly later on. But anyways, understand that when it comes to health, wealth, relationships, we choose one of those markets. The most common thing that I hear back from people is like, well, Steven, I could fit in any of those. Or the other one is, well, Steven, right, I can't fit in any of those. Right, I'm selling utilities or whatever. Right, you know what I mean? So we choose, first off here, okay, we got health, wealth, relationships. One of those 3. The reason why it's one of those 3 and not 2, and not all, right? You might be able to sell, and you could spin a sales message in any fashion into one of those 3. That's great. Lead with one, though. Because every time we add an and, our conversions drop. Okay? You need massive clarity on who it is that you're selling. And you need massive clarity in understanding what they want. And it's hard to find a group of people that want both this and this. Right? That's a qualifier in their eyes. Not in yours. In your eyes, you're like, but it'll expand my market. It actually doesn't. Okay? It'll expand my market. No. What it does is it put a qualifier in their mind. You're like, in order to buy my product, you need health and relationships as your goal here. Like, crap, I just wanted to get healthy. Like, dang it. I don't actually feel like I qualify for this. All right, we'll see you later. Does that make sense? They're going to look for logical reasons of why they're not supposed to be where they are. That's just part of sales. And don't give them another reason. Choose one. I give the example a lot of times of Gillette razor, right? And I know a lot of you guys have heard this stuff, but like, get over it, okay? Okay, this is very powerful stuff, and understand this. Gillette razor, what market are they in? Are they what desire are they giving? Are they giving health or wealth or relationships? Right? And you guys all know, like, Gillette razor is selling relationships. I mean razors. Okay, you don't actually sell what you sell. You sell the desire. Okay, I'm gonna start walking through this as we keep moving forward here. But right, Gillette razor, they don't sell health, which is what you might assume that they're in. Right, some guy's shaving. They're commercials, right? Some guy's shaving, and then a woman comes up and like feels his face up. They're selling relationships. Men, you want the woman? Use this razor. Okay, they're selling relationships, not health. Okay, so check this out. So what I'm going to go do is I'm actually going to, just because a lot of you guys are probably coming from the ClickFunnels world, which is great, which is what I love. I bleed ClickFunnels, baby. I'm a diehard. I actually have a ClickFunnels flag on my ceiling right there. No joke. Actually, that'd be kind of funny to show you. Yeah, there's the corner of it right there. Anyway, all right. So I'm going to use the example of ClickFunnels. Now, ClickFunnels, if you don't know, was almost an abandoned project. And so they're selling wealth. Okay, they're selling wealth. And ClickFunnels was almost an abandoned project. And I'm going to teach you this just because, again, you all know, you're probably all familiar with this. There's other reasons why I'm doing this, but check this out, though, okay? ClickFunnels was almost an abandoned project. And just like a lot of new products, they were having a hard time figuring out how to sell it. That's not abnormal, right? A lot of us are trying to figure out how to sell our thing once we have it. That's not abnormal at all. And so they're trying to figure out how to sell the thing. And Russell was going through iteration after iteration. Dang it, it's not selling that way. It's not selling that way. And like after 5-6 times of like relaunching, dang it, there's like hardly anyone using it. Relaunching, dang it, hardly anyone using it. Relaunch. He felt like he was going to give up a little bit. And I think it was Dean Graziosi. He invited Russell to come speak at an event, and he's like, hey, you got to sell that ClickFunnels thing that you've been selling everybody. And Russell's like, oh, man, I don't know. I don't think I want to do that. And he goes, no, come on, Russell, dude. This is going to be good stuff. Russell's like, all right. And he made his last few changes. He's like, well, let's tweak it. Let's do it this way, whatever. And he goes to sell it at Dean Graziosi's event. And I can't remember how much of the room, but he closed a lot of the room. And that's when he realized on the flight back home, we found it. We found not just what we're selling, but more important, or just as important, kind of more, honestly, is how it sells. And then finally, it became ClickFunnels, right? It became the thing that it is now. And off the back of that webinar, they pulled $10 million in 2 years and built a whole company that, anyway, this is amazing. It's amazing. Very impressive, right? Super crazy. Okay, now what I want to do real fast is I want to walk through and I want to analyze this scenario here and use it as a little bit of a case study for why many of you are not actually selling the way you want to, and why it is a scary, guys, it scares the crap out of me when someone walks up to me like, Steven, I got this sweet thing. It's so awesome. I have it done. Who should I sell it to? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry for the amount of time you spent on your thing and you're asking that question now. Right? That's like super anxiety provoking for me. That is not the way to play the game. And that's not what I'm going to teach you guys here at all. That is risky crap. Okay. So let's think about this. So ClickFunnels goes in and ClickFunnels has, all right, ClickFunnels is over here. Now you actually will see it. You actually will see, let me think about this here real quick to show you how this goes. All good marketing starts at the who. Okay. All good marketing starts at the who. And that's what I'm going to walk you guys through real fast. As far as market goes, there's two kinds of who's. There's a who for a market selection, and then there's who for the person within that market. Okay, these are two very important phases. They are not joined. They are very separate activities, and it's the reason why many of you guys don't sell. Okay, so if I come in here, how many ways are there to get wealth? There's so many ways. There's people on here right now that would be like, hey, Steven, you know what? I am actually, I'm in real estate, and I sell real estate as the way to get wealth. And someone's like, that's really cool, but that's not the way you get wealth. I'm over here and I'm playing the financial market. I'm in the stock market. Right? I'm in the stock market. That's how you get financial wealth. Right? And someone's like, no, dude, that's not how you do it at all. You come over here and you learn how to be an entrepreneur. Right? You learn how to be an entrepreneur. That's how you get wealth. Does that make sense? Markets are nothing more than ideas that deliver an outcome. It's just a collection of businesses, and both sellers and buyers, that all have a very similar thing promoting and promising the same outcome. That's all a market is. Okay? And typically the market survives because it stands on what we call, it's called an ecosystem. Okay? The ecosystem of a market is very important to understand as we go and we develop a new opportunity for you. But anyways, I'm kind of getting my head out of here a little bit, but I want to understand just this background a little bit. So you understand as I kind of draw this for ClickFunnels and what ClickFunnels market is and how ClickFunnels was so born. Hopefully they're cool with me talking about them like this. ClickFunnels is amazing. If you're not using it, you're insane. Okay. But like what's interesting is like if you don't understand these parts of it, it is often the reason why I've noticed, like I said, you can be a really good funnel builder, fantastic, but you're not actually making any money. Okay. You have to understand that what I'm going to walk you guys through here is so powerful that you can suck at all those things, like I was saying, and still make a lot of cash. All right. So understand that, let's take this for example. We call this, you know what, I'm getting ahead of myself as well again. I'm super psyched about like a certain principle here that most people really do miss. And I keep getting ahead of myself a little bit. All right. Check this out. The ClickFunnels example. ClickFunnels is over here. Right. Would you say that ClickFunnels was a new blue ocean? Yes. Right. Funnels still existed. Funnels already existed. Also popularized it and then made it easy for people to do. Right. That's also very key. Okay. All right. I'm going to come here and show like, okay, so ClickFunnels is what we would consider and call a blue ocean. And again, a lot of you guys, you already understand this vernacular, but a blue ocean, it means there's like little to no competition at all. Right. But there's already desire. Check this out, though. So we got ClickFunnels. Right, and ClickFunnels, like I said, is almost an abandoned project. What Russell needed was he needed some market to pit himself against. So freaking vital that you hear me clearly while I say this. Okay? We need a market to pit against when we create a new market. Okay, so if I'm over here, right, and people are like, no, it's real estate to get you wealth. No, it's this to get you wealth. No, it's this to get you wealth. What made ClickFunnels successful is when Russell finally, right, when he learned that he needed to pit against the website market. Okay, and that's what he does. That's what he still does, right? You look right here, websites. Nice. When he became the anti-website in his webinar, that's when he started selling so hard, right? It was fascinating, super fascinating to look at. I've downloaded so many of his webinars that have just made millions and millions. And I mean, I'll listen to him on repeat sometimes. Like there's such an insane education. It's not just him selling the product. He's doing very strategic, interesting things inside of his marketplace. It's very fascinating. Okay. So check this out. When he became the anti-website, that is when ClickFunnels started working really well. You can even hear that in a lot of his Funnel Hacks webinar, if you guys have ever seen that. In the Funnel Hacks webinar, he even says, he calls it the death of the website. It's like part of his intro. Welcome to the death of the website. And here's reasons why it's dying. And here's reasons why just having a website is stupid. Who does that speak to? Everyone who has a website. And everyone's like, oh, crap. Right? And he becomes the anti-red in his messaging. If you don't write anything else down from this session, you have got to write that down. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to talk too much about how to do this yet or how to create this yet. I'm not going to talk about those kinds of things yet. What I'm going to do, and the purpose of, again, what I'm going to walk you guys through here now is I'm going to teach you guys how to select the market that you are going to pit against. That is what we're doing right here. And yes, I've been on for 49 minutes. I see that. But you have to understand, like, I have to set this up in a way so you can see we have a level framework. We have a level groundwork to play off of and work off of here, okay? So there's a lot of ways, right? This one, and then this one, and then this one, and there's this one, and there's this one. So the first thing you have to do here, now what I would do is I would start drawing this out. What is it that you're selling? I mean, delivering health or wealth or relationships, okay? Circle one of those or just write it here And then the point and the purpose of what I'm going to walk you guys through here is a checklist. I'm actually going to walk through a checklist right here that will show you guys how I select the market that I go ahead and sell into. Okay? What's up? Can't put this crap on a podcast. Does it make sense so far? Hopefully it does as I'm doing this. Just breaking for a moment so we can start this little checklist. So what it is, and so this is the order that I actually go and I'll choose things to launch in. Okay, the first thing I'll go do, I'll choose this green marker here. The first thing I do is I don't select a product. I select a market. Oh! Okay, so first thing in this here, I should say a desire. First thing I select is a desire. The second thing I select is a market. The third thing that I choose and I go through is the who in the market. That solves most of your problems. Okay, the who. It's kind of crappy to see, isn't it? Well, I'll just keep drawing it. The next thing I go through is that once I have the who, I'm going to walk you guys through problems. Because not all problems are created equal. But this is one of the key pieces for the most freaking easy sales in your entire life. Like, it makes it so easy, you guys, seriously. This is one of the, so anyways, I'm going to walk you guys through some problems and how to identify them. Then I'm going to teach you guys how to solve, that's when we actually walk through the core offer. That solves the problem. This is all like a big path now, okay? And as I've taught pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces, it's gotten more and more clear as I've done this and been successful with it, both myself and hundreds and thousands of others now, which is awesome. Then what I do is now that we know the core offer, then I'll start thinking about the actual funnel, okay? Then I design a launch campaign. Most people don't. And it's the reason why they still have to put their own dollar inside of their business. Okay. Here is a lot of where I create the actual sales message. Okay, because you can see the order that I was talking about last time, right? Where first I would build the funnel, then I'd build the offer, then I'd build a sales message. Okay, that's not it at all. Okay, there's a lot of things that I go through, and I'm going to show you guys again a checklist that I walk through, and it comes from a lot of specific places, right? But a lot of sales message stuff comes from this one. Then I go through the actual core offer, then the funnel, then the launch campaign. Then I tweak. Then I go through evergreen campaigns because they're two different kinds of campaigns. And then usually that's when I'll start actually building the next thing in my value ladder. Okay, that's kind of my process. That's what I'm going to walk you guys through here. So just understand that what I'm bringing you guys through now, we are specifically talking about market selection. Okay, and I'm going to go more deeply into who and problems in the next session. Cool. What's up? All right, so here's the next session. All right, so here's the next checklist here. So the checklist that I'm going to walk through here, let me just pull it up. There's a lot to it. Alrighty. Now, some of you guys already have heard this. But when you think back to, just kind of refresh this here and start over. When you guys think, hopefully it's helpful so far. We'd love you guys' feedback and comments at some point. Little likes, little thumbs up, that'd be awesome. But here, check this out. What I do, so if I go health or wealth or relationships, what you have to understand is that when you've chosen one of those, right, and again, this is to kind of help overcome some of the issues that I've seen people do. They'll say, Steven, I've got a really, really awesome product or offer, and it doesn't naturally fit, right? The product doesn't ever sell itself, and I'll go through some cool examples of that moving forward here. While your product may not fit in one of those three, okay, so if you're like, my product, Steven, it just does not fit in one of those. That's okay. Your sales message must, though. Okay? Your sales message has to choose one of those three and stick to it. Okay? Whatever it is that you want to sell, right? I could take this water bottle and we could sell, the obvious would be wealth, but we could spin a sales message and do health. Now, I'm sorry, we could do relationships. We actually could have a relationship-based pitch off of this. Okay, you have to understand how malleable a lot of this stuff is when you understand the parts of it and why it works and all these components as they work together. So just choose one of them, whatever one that. Now, I'll tell you that I sell wealth because it's already associated with money, and so a lot of times if you are not amazing, it will make up for lack of what you are not good at yet. That's a big hack to the game right there. Anyway. Let's walk through the actual checklist, though. We have to understand is that, so now we're going to choose a market. Trying to figure out how I can set this up so that it's let's think about this for a second here. There's a concept that we all talk about called red ocean, blue ocean, and you guys are likely familiar with it. And red ocean, blue ocean is a powerful concept. What's cool about red ocean, blue ocean is red oceans, right, or markets are highly, insanely competitive oceans, right? You actually want that. You want an insanely red, competitive red ocean. That is different than I was taught in college. I was taught that you need no competition. The good news is that there's no competition, right? That's great when you're building a blue, but the blue comes out of a red, right? You still need a red. And so not all markets are red. Not all markets are ready for a blue. This is a big deal to understand as we move forward here. You're like, Stephen, I don't get it yet. That's okay. Just stick with me. I'm going to walk through some of these checklist items as we do this, okay? So, and this is one of the major reasons why someone doesn't know who they sell after they've built a product. It's because of this. This is why people hire me to come in. I'm a great funnel builder, really good at offer creation, and I'm really good at creating sales messages that sell. I'm fantastic at creating content machines, but the thing that I'm really good at and why people hire me, and I'm just telling you, is because of what I'm bringing you through now. It has to do with market selection. And then the rest of it is freaking easy, and it's mostly chosen for you and decided for you. It's not even up to you, which is really fantastic news, okay? So you have to understand that not all markets are red. Now, think back to when Al Gore created the internet. Okay, obviously didn't, but he claimed that. He hooked two computers together, and then suddenly he created the internet. Anyway, okay, think back when the internet was publicly available in 1991. Okay, here's the scenario. In 1991, the internet became publicly available. It was already being used by government and military by that time. But what was interesting is right, you had one internet service provider, right? There was only one. It's a new thing, right? There's one internet service provider. That's it, okay? And there's one internet service provider, and they're making all the cash. And suddenly, what do other people say? Oh my gosh, wait, is that available for the private sector? And it's like, oh my gosh, it is. And other companies start looking at this, and they go, we actually could pull that off. Right? Look how much money they're making. They got a monopoly here, basically, right? So then another one pops up, internet service provider, another internet service provider, another one, another one, another one, right? And all these people start to rush in to the market. And it gets what we call red, meaning it's bloody. That's where it comes from, okay? Think of a red ocean. That's where all the sharks are. It's competitive. It's the only way to survive in this now red ocean typically is just by margins. Like, no, I'll sell mine for less for the customer, right? And people have this knee-jerk reaction when they're selling their thing. The reason why somebody buys from me, knee-jerk reaction as a business owner who doesn't really know what they're doing, is I'm going to sell it cheaper than that guy. That's a crappy way to do business, man. I am proud that I'm expensive. I'm very expensive, right? And I'm unapologetic about it. And what I'm showing you with you is the reason why I can do that and be that way and say that way without being a jerk, okay, or feeling that way, okay? But what happens is, right, you get all these people and they start coming in, and it drives the price lower, and it's cool for the consumer, but it starts to kill the market, and it can kill the businesses, and it can kill and make it so that solutions that were there start to disappear, and they're actually not cash flow positive anymore. And they have to do weird things sometimes, like go get on the stock market and sell portions of the company to get funding to bring it back in, to build things that hopefully go and bring in more revenue. It's like, it's this weird game that they start playing, right? Now, we have to understand is you actually want this. That is different, 100% different. That is not how I was taught in college. That is not how mainstream entrepreneurship teaches it. That is not how the books teach it. You are looking for an insanely red ocean, bloody, competitive, cutthroat. I want it as red as it possibly can be. I also want it to have existed as long as possible. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is understand that you have you're over here, right? Think about this. Now, I understand that I don't come up with the offer or any of that stuff for quite a while, but you probably have an idea of what you want to sell. You probably have an idea of what you want to go into, which is great. So you're over here, and what I'm showing you how to do, and this checklist that I'm going to show you right now is it's going to show you how to choose a market. Because guess what? Not all oceans are red. some of them are still normal, right? Not all of them are positioned for blue. Not all of them. It's the funniest thing, man. That's why it's so funny to me when somebody walks out and they're like, I'm going to be the next ClickFunnels killer. Like, well, that's some stupid marketing. Whoever's advising you, the funnels world, I would not even consider red. It's red in this super easy, tiny, dark corner of the internet that the rest of the world is barely even knowing exists, right? Like, it's dumb. It's dumb for you to go in. I'm going to be the ClickFunnels killer. It's like, all right, well, you and 40 others who've tried and they all failed. Do you even know their names? Like maybe one or two of them, and most of them, like they still can't. ClickFunnels is clearly the category king, right? So what happens is, now this is another important piece to understand. Okay? Now this is the reason why you're not only wanting a blue ocean, which I'm trying not to get ahead of myself here. Got to stick on this point. Okay, but what you need to do is you need to be able to, you know what, let's pause. I'm going to stop that thought because I don't want to bring in another one yet. Okay. But that's the major point that I'm trying to help you understand is you can't pick an ocean too early, and it is possible, and it's very easy. And a lot of times when people are like, yeah, it's a new thing, no one's in it, right? A lot of times it's the ground floor level. That's some risky crap. Okay. I want stuff that has been around for a while. I want stuff that has been validated. I want stuff that the rest of the world knows exists. I want there to be momentum already. I want there to be promotions and ad spend. I want there to be business cash being spent. I'm going to walk through a checklist now. You need to understand that when it's insanely, insanely red, the benefit to you is that when you create a blue ocean over here out of a true red ocean, that's a great opportunity for you. The benefit, who do you sell to when you're a blue ocean? Back to the red. Now, since that ocean has existed for a long time, it is a foundation for your business. It is a foundation for your blue. It is a security for what you're building. Because this has existed forever, there's some key things I'm going to drop you guys. I want to walk through now with this. And you understand, like, it's actually, because this is so red, it is security for the blue. Because it's so red, it is information and data freely available for your blue as you build it. Okay? The red builds the blue, not you. Okay? That was one of the biggest mistakes I kept making during my first 12 business failures. What idea should I come up with? That's what college is teaching me. What should I put together? Right? What is it that I need to go how do I create this thing? How do I put it out there? How do I put it together? It's like that's scary. First time I learned this, and I know some of you guys heard these stories, but like if you have, like, just get over it. All right, I'm gonna tell them. We were going to have our first kid, and we were in a hospital room, and we were nothing was happening. My wife needed to be induced, and so but don't do this, okay? And I was texting a guy, who's Noah Keegan, and Noah Keegan 5-6 years ago, he had this, I don't know if he's still doing it, but he had this offer where you could go in and text him questions before you buy his thing. And so I was like, this is cool. And so I was texting him questions about what I wanted to go sell while we were in the delivery room, and which is stupid, but I was. And I was doing everything that I was being taught, right? I was an active individual, and active people tend to find answers, even though they'll run into a lot of failures, and that's fine. But I was being active, and I was doing everything that college was teaching me. I was running focus groups. Nothing against that in a certain scenario, but not when you're building a new product. Okay. I was running focus groups. I was running around and I was grabbing, like, there was a ton of stuff I was doing, guys. And I was doing everything I was being taught. And I wanted validation from Noah Keegan that it was the good thing that I should be pursuing before I went and I bought his thing. And so what was interesting is I was asking him, like, hey, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? And after a while, he was like, dude, I don't know. I was like, why, man? You said I could text you and ask you if this is a good thing for me to go into. And he goes, man, I don't know. I don't let people vote with their mouths. I only care what they vote for with their wallets. And I was like, pfft. And it was at that moment I started realizing that I was creating things out of my own thought. Now, that's okay at a certain point. That's okay once you have a foundation built out. That's okay after you go through a lot of the things in checklist-wise that I'm going to bring you through right now here, and which I keep alluding to, but I'm trying to set it up so you understand what I'm doing here as I teach this part. And I stopped caring so much about my own opinions. So I'm not the one filling my wallet. I'm not the one who's going to be buying it. Okay. So frankly, who gives a crap if I'm selling something that might feel like it's kind of weird? Who cares who cares if I wouldn't buy my own thing, right? I would, but like, you understand what I'm saying? Since you're not the one buying it, you got to take your opinions and you got to put them on the back burner. As long as it's ethical, as long as it's moral, what I'm going to show with you here is I'm going to teach you not only what markets to go select, because you're just going to start with one. Much like how you're going to just choose health, wealth, or relationships, you're only going to choose one of these markets. You're only going to choose one of these things. And I'm going to show you how. I'll keep using ClickFunnels as an example because we all probably see it and it's very public. Okay, so you guys can see what they've done. And I'll give you some cool examples moving forward. But you're going to choose one red ocean, one, and I'm going to show you not just how to select it, but I'm going to show you how to know that it's red. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. And that's why my stuff's been so helpful for people moving forward here. All right, so that makes sense? All right, let's move on here. So the actual checklist. So you have right, what you're trying to figure out is if this market is red, right? Is that red? Is it ripe? Is it ready to be picked? That's how I kind of think about it. Is this ocean ready? Is it primed for me to build a blue out of? And how do I know the red's not going to leave? Because the red is the source of my customers. Oh, that's another little value bomb right there, right? The red is the source of my customers. That's why I want to choose one that's a foundation, not a fad. That's why I want to choose a red market very carefully because I only have to make my sales message once, okay? Build my whole business off of it, right? And then by the time you build the whole value ladder, anyway, we'll get into that in a moment here. I want to teach you guys, I'm also going to walk through a little bit of value ladder design because that's one of the pieces most people struggle with. And I want to teach you how to get around value ladder design without freaking out and understand what's happening. It's very powerful, very important. It's super big hack to the game. And frankly, I know it's why I've been able to do a lot of things I have at the speed I've been able to in the last year and a half. Okay. All right. So here's the checklist. I'm going to walk you guys through this. You got to understand that red ocean timing matters a lot. And like I was saying, it's one of the reasons why people will be successful. More so than, hey, do you have a good offer? Which is nuts. Okay. Do you have a good offer? Do you have a good funnel? Right? Do you have a good sales message? You don't know what sales message to freaking build until you know what the red ocean is that you're coming out of. Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to show you guys some things that I'm looking for, both from a, hey, this is a positive thing to look for, and then, hey, this is a negative thing. When you see this is a signal that you should probably not, like, you should probably run and get out of here. Okay. Now, a lot of this, as I go through it, I'm going definitely much deeper than I typically would, but it's because I want to set the stage for some of the future sessions so that we all speak in the same vernacular, we're all moving forward at the same speed, and so that you guys can look at this and be like, look at your thing and be like, oh, I actually have an offer, a sales message and funnel, but I've never, ever, ever, ever thought about what market I'm fighting against or fighting with, or, right? Anyway, so there's a lot of powerful ways to pull this. And this mirror positioning is one of the fastest ways to leverage existing noise. Okay. So let's walk through this here. So is my red ocean ripe? Okay. Is it ready for the blue? Okay. Now these are signals that it's ready for a blue. Like I should have probably written that here. Put this right here. And as you guys are watching this, whatever, you can drop questions or whatever my way. It's totally fine. This is usually where people start to have the questions a little bit. Ready for blue? Okay. You have to understand that inside of red oceans or markets in general, there's beliefs. That's why they got there in the first place. I believe that websites are the way for me to have wealth. And there's the general consensus belief around that, right? Or someone who's selling health. I believe that marathons or ultra marathons or whatever, I believe that is the way for me to be health and feel healthy both physically and mentally and get tough, right? I'm a big David Goggins fan. Okay. Or if it's relationships, I believe that Tony Robbins is the way for me to go and get my relationship where it needs to be, right? There's a general consensus inside of markets. You need to know what that is, okay? Inside of the red, even though you're not going to be using, you actually are going to be using it, never mind, okay? But one of the things that is a huge signal that you are ready to build a blue out of the red is if you start seeing conflicting beliefs inside of the red. That's awesome. Okay, that's a big deal. And I'll give you guys some cool case studies as we move forward here as well. Okay, is conflicting beliefs? Yeah, there we go. Now the power of this. One of the biggest things I don't like about a lot of things that are taught by marketers today is they say you need to bring attention to a problem or create the problem so then you can bring in the solution. I actually hate that. What's cool is that if you do what I'm talking about right here, you're not creating any problems. You're just identifying the ones that already exist. So then you really are a true solution creator. Okay, so that's good. When there's a lot of conflicting beliefs inside of the red, what that means is you can go and attach to one of them and use it as a banner to lead them out into the blue. Okay, that's why that's a big deal. Next one, if there starts to be too many product options, right? When there's too many of them, when there's like a lot of them, lots and lots and lots of product options. The reason why is because that starts to create overwhelm for the customer. That's good. Okay, you have to understand, like inside of these markets, what makes up the market, right? There's buyers, there's sellers, right? There's both. There's both going on in there. There's general beliefs that makes up the market. There is a ton of what we call the ecosystem. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the future here as well. That's not something I've really walked through that much, but it's one of the easiest ways to take over a red ocean, which I've now done because of this ecosystem concept, which I'll walk through as we keep going forward here. Helpful so far, though. Would love to know. Anyway, so when there's a lot of product options, that's good because it starts to say to the people who are buyers in there, like, crap, like, I don't know which one to choose. And right, a conflicted mind is always a no. So when you start to see that that's naturally happening and this thing's starting to bulge and there's so much going on inside of it and there's so many buyers, there's so many sellers, there's so much stuff happening inside there and there starts to be all these product options, right? Those are great signals that you are ready to build a blue out of it, okay? When I love the term duct tape marketing, and some of you guys have heard of this stuff. But when you think about the term duct tape marketing, what's cool about it is like, I believe this is where the term comes from. Quite a while ago, what would happen was people would go buy these cars from these car lots. They go buy these cars, and as they come out with a brand new car, they come off the lot, and these salesmen would watch as the cars, as they drove off the lot, would immediately turn to the side of the road and stop. And then they'd watch in curiosity while they saw the brand new car owner with the brand new car duct tape a rear view mirror to the center of the windshield. They duct taped it. What do you think the companies went and created next? Right? Suddenly rear view mirrors were the thing inside of the rear view mirror. Do you mind leaving that open? The rear view mirrors were the things that everybody put inside of it. Does that make sense? It's called duct tape marketing. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for, I call it customer innovations. Post-purchase. Okay, customer innovations post-purchase in order to use that product how they hoped for in the first place. That's big. That's a big deal. When you see that, it's a huge signal that they're starting to get ready for a blue. It means the solutions that the red, right, this insanely competitive thing with all these products and all these things that are inside of it, all the current solutions, it means they're no longer fitting the needs, and the customer is declaring that. Hey, this is not actually what we're using it for. Could you come over here and let's do it over here? Great example of that actually is QuickBooks. What's interesting about QuickBooks is like apparently their online platform sucks. And so what a lot of people will go do is they'll use QuickBooks, the local version, but they'll go get their own freaking server and put QuickBooks, their local version, on another server, right? I didn't know this. I learned this and I was like, are you kidding me? Like the online version, that apparently that's the case anyway, right? If someone's like, that's not how it is, like I've tried. It seemed that way to me anyway. Okay. But what's interesting is like their online platform is so bad, or was at least when they launched it, that people were going in and taking their own local version and hosting their own virtual, like pseudo online version through their own server that they go set up. Like that's psycho, but that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? That's duct tape marketing at its core when you start to see that kind of stuff. That's awesome, right? So if you're going to go out and you're going to build a Blue, what should be something that you make sure you design into whatever offer you create that you can freaking log in online and it's actually something you can use, right? Does that make sense? This is a lot of how the market starts to tell you what they're wanting to buy. So it's not actually coming from your own head. This is actually a super big one. This is something that I need to, that I really want you to understand. The rise of C-level influencers. Okay, this is the next one here. The rise of C-level influencers. Rise of C-level influencers. Okay, the rise of C-level influencers. What does that mean? What's interesting is that you have to think about what the asset of a business really actually is. Is the asset of a business the real, like the thing that's really, really powerful? Is it their product? Not really. Okay, sometimes, but it's usually not. Okay, what is the actual asset? Like, could Google go, whenever they acquire a brand new company, could they go and create whatever it is that they, whatever that company had created? Yeah, they could probably go take that little small company they just acquired. They could, whatever technology they developed, Google could probably code it in an afternoon. That's not why they buy it. They buy it because of the customer list, right? They buy it because of the distribution channel that business had created. Now they own that distribution. That makes sense? They're most of the time, right? Now there are people out there who probably argue with me. They're like, well, there's companies that get valued based on the product they have. Yeah, I get it. Okay. But long term, like the power of a company is massively multiplied based on how many customers they have and how huge their distribution is versus what their product is. Okay. So what I'm looking for in this one is I want to look and see it inside this red ocean. Inside this red ocean market. And what I want to do is I want to look here and say, who are the big influencers? Okay. Now, if a market is tiny, there's usually not that many influencers yet. That's a big signal that there's not a lot of people inside of this red ocean yet. That's like a massive piece that just dropped in you right there. Okay. This is the reason why it's stupid when people, I'm the ClickFunnels killer. There's just barely beginning to be B and C level influencers inside the ClickFunnels ocean, just barely, right? That's why it's stupid for something like, oh, I'm going to go ClickFunnels killer. It's like, it's not even red yet, right? And you don't even have the rise of C-level influencers. There's not that many of them in there yet, right? So when you start to see the rise of C-level influencers, what it means is that there's enough people in here that who are able to follow. Actually, I'll say it this way. There's enough buyers that you're able to go and there's so many buyers, I should say, that there's like micro tribes. That's probably a better way to say it. So in here, there's people with massive levels of influence, right? They own the majority of the list inside of this market, right? That'd definitely be ClickFunnels in the funnel space, right? They own the majority of the list. They own the majority of the distribution. People know about them the most. Make sense? Then there's like people who, they still have a lot of influence in the same market, but not as much, right? And then less, and then less, and then less, and less, and less, and less. And then like you, all right? When you're just starting out. It's the other reason why it's stupid to go and try and compete in a red. I don't compete in reds, but I do leverage them to build a blue, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look inside here and I'm going to see to myself and say to myself, self, who in here are C-level influencers? Okay, now what do we know about somebody who's like an A-level influencer? That's these guys, right? That's them at the very, very top right here. A, then B, then C. I know it's tiny on the camera. Hopefully it was helpful, but you can see it though. But what I want to see that there's this level starting. I really want, if the reason why is because a C-level influencer knows they're a C-level influencer, and they know that they want more influence, and they know that they want people to be checking them out, and they know that they should be having people, what they want is exposure. And because they want exposure and they're also an influencer, I can go in and I can gain relationships with those people and say, hey, like this red's really cool, but look what I'm doing over here in this blue, right? And then they're like, oh, that's sick, right? And then those are some of the easiest people for me to do JVs with. That's why I look ahead of time to make sure this is a future traffic method. That's why I look for this. Is there a rise of C-level influencers in the red ocean that I'll be pitting against and coming out of and selling back into? Because I can gain relationships with C-level influencers, and there's some of the easiest people for us to go and gain relationships with. They're right. A-level, that's like, Tony Robbins, right? They're super hard to get a hold of, right? You wouldn't really imagine that Tony Robbins is going to be like, yeah, let me promote your product. You know what I mean? It took Russell 10 years of gaining a relationship with Tony before he's able to promote Russell's book to Tony's audience. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not easy to go get an A-level influencer. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not saying it's not worth it. But I'm looking to make sure that there's enough people inside here and there's enough hierarchy that's been created in the red ocean that there is a C-level and that there's a lot of them. Because for every A-level influencer, there's probably going to be, there's a lot of Bs. And for every B, there's a ton of Cs. And when I start seeing lots of C-level influencers, it's validation that this market is a good size. And it's validation for me that it's really, really, it's going to be one of the methods for me to launch in. And I'll talk about that more during like launch campaign strategies and such like that. One of the most frequent questions I get from people that when they're like, well, how do I know who is a C-level influencer? There's not really a gauge, okay? This is actually an advantage. If it's not obvious, like, how would I know who is an A-level influencer inside the funnel space? I should probably go to freaking Google and type in funnels, right? And when I start seeing the same big people, when I start seeing, I could go to semrush.com and I could see how much traffic each of the major players in this red ocean, how much traffic they all getting, right? Who's publishing? That's usually how I know who the actual real players are. If someone's publishing, it's like the most ridiculous security for future ever, right? So if someone's not publishing, it's very unlikely they're going to make my C-level influencer list. Because publishing is distribution. It's one of the reasons why I freaking tell them to do it. Do it, okay? Do it. And what happens is, like, hey, right, you start building a distribution list. That's why you publish. That's why Gary Vee says he publishes. It's not so much that he has new things to say all the time. In fact, usually he doesn't. Okay? But he has distribution on so many platforms. That's why I published on like 22 platforms or however much it is. That's the reason why. That's why you do that. Okay? And that's what I'm looking for. It does all these other benefits too. It does tons of stuff free, which is great, right? It makes you better, makes your product better, lets you get a relationship, turns you to attractive character. I mean, I've never found a negative to publishing, even if you feel like you suck. Just publish, okay? But what I want to do is I want to see who's publishing, who has products, who has followings, who's active, who is it that's loud, and I'm going to tier them, right? And I'm going to say like, hey, here's all these sweet C-level influencers. Oh my gosh, super cool. Because that's one of the easiest ways to just kill in the future. Make sense? All right. Now, I'm going to walk through a list. I'm going to use green here. This is what I call, is my red ocean ugly? Is it ugly? Okay, is my red ocean ugly? Meaning these are signals that I use to get rid of the possibility of moving into this red ocean. Okay. I don't want, these are like some of the most obvious things I look for when I'm like, which I guess it could be so part of the same list. I just put in the opposite verbiage. But anyway, is my red ocean ugly? You ugly. All right, there we go. All right. One of the scariest things that I've ever seen a new funnel builder or entrepreneur do is they will only model and hack sellers. Okay, you need to look at sellers and buyers. And a lot of what I just walked through is very much a checklist. I mean, it works for buyers and sellers, right? Influencers and people who are also consumers. But specifically, a lot of what you're going to see here is very much focused on the business side. Okay, what do I need to be seeing in other businesses to signal to me that it's a safe thing for me to do? Right, that it's a safe thing for me to move into. You got to give it to them, right? This is the way it works, right? If I have any brand new market, like 70% of it gets sucked up by the first person who went into it. That's why I want you to create a blue ocean. That's why I want you to go make a brand new opportunity. Okay, this goes into what is called the category king. And if you haven't read the book, I would go read the book Play Bigger. It'll teach exactly this. Okay. The majority of the market share goes to the person who created the market. Everyone else is left fighting over the scraps. That's why they have to play the margin game. Okay, that's why not many businesses survive fighting over the scraps. That's another reason why it is dumb to go and say, I'm going to be the ClickFunnels killer. Who's the category king of the funnel space? ClickFunnels, right? And so they're the large majority of the market share. Like, who hasn't heard of ClickFunnels anymore? You know what I mean? It's not, you see what I'm saying? And so when someone's like, I'm going to be the ClickFunnels killer, it's like, you're telling me you're going to come dethrone a category king? I can't even name a company where that's been successful. Like, that is so, you have a better shot making a blue ocean than you do dethroning a category king. That's a lot about what the book Play Bigger talks about. A lot of books talk about that concept, okay? Which is the reason why I don't create a product that will compete and sell in, right? I sell it to the red, but I'm not selling the same thing as the red. Okay, I'm gonna show you that as I move forward here on this. So understand this though. So as we move forward, again, this is my you ugly. So you have to understand that, like, when we're looking at these businesses, you gotta hand it to them, because if they're surviving in that space and they're successfully fighting over the scraps, they figured some crap out that most businesses will never will, right? Like, that's powerful. You gotta understand where they've been and what they've been doing. If they are living, they've actually been surviving. Like, I saw a stat last year from the grave. Steve Jobs owned 73% of all smartphones sold last year. Okay, you're telling me that Steve Jobs, right? Obviously it's Apple, but right, what he created. Okay, the ocean didn't exist. Smartphones didn't exist. He created it. It's very easy to be crowned the category king when you're the first one in. You suck up the majority of the market share, and we'll talk about that as we move forward a little bit here. What's fascinating, though, with that is that from the grave, right, he's still sucking up 73% of the smartphone insurance market share. Okay, now companies that survive and actually are profitable on the rest of those scraps, they've learned a lot. And they're incredibly smart companies to be able to pull that off. That is not easy. Most companies fail that. And most companies don't survive that. Okay. Which is another reason why so many people, when they build a product, like, who should I sell to? And then they go try and compete in the red. I don't compete in the red. I sell to the red. It's very different. I'll tell you that as I move forward here. Okay. Does that make sense, though? So this checklist I'm walking through here, you're actually going to use a lot of data from the current businesses that are in there to help launch your blue. Is this at all what you guys are expecting? I don't know, probably not. But you're the offer guy. Actually, this is why my offers work so well. I got templates and all kinds of stuff I'm going to walk you guys through as we keep moving through this. But this is why my offers work so well. There's a lot of cool offer templates and stuff like that, but it's with this backdrop and understanding these things. I mean, I go deep with it. I'm building the blue freaking ocean, right? It doesn't exist, right? That's a huge feat. But at the same time, it's actually not when you understand some of these principles, because most people don't understand it, and most don't, and most won't. Anyway. Okay, so check this out. So is it ugly? Is it right? These are signals I'm looking at businesses in the red ocean to tell me, run. Don't attach yourself to this red ocean. Okay? If businesses are not reinvesting cash. Okay? If they're not reinvesting cash back into the red, right? They've got customers, they've got solutions, customers are coming on in there, they're paying money for those solutions, they're selling products, they're getting cash back into their pockets. If you can see in any form or fashion that they're not actually taking that cash to grow their business, actually grow the business, if the businesses aren't growing, if they're not reinvesting their cash, that is a major signal to run, because they're seeing something as a collective whole that maybe you can't see until you're actually in that business, until you're actually in that market. Does that make sense? So if I'm seeing people like taking their cash and going and taking it somewhere else, or I can see that they're not actually spending much money on ads, or that they're really not publishing, right? Or you're seeing that these businesses and companies that are out there, they're not, I'm getting ahead a little bit here, but if they're not actively seeking ways to grow, not growing their distribution, that's scary. That's a huge signal, right? Money is faster than time, right? As a general principle. That's why if I can spend money on something, I'm probably going to get the result faster than if I just try and figure it out on my own. That's why you hire coaches, okay? But money is faster than time. So if I see they're not spending money anymore and they're just putting their sweat equity back into it, that just slowed the speed of the whole market. That slowed it down tremendously. That's not good. I want there to be this perpetual loud momentum inside the market. I want it to be loud. I want everyone and their mom to already know about it. It takes a lifetime to create momentum truly inside of a market. I don't want to go create that. I want to leverage the existing momentum in a red ocean that will help propel and build my blue. Okay? And if I see that people are not spending money to grow their distribution, if I see people are not spending money to grow and build their thing, that's risky, man. That's scary. That's a huge signal. Get out. Okay. This is another big one. If I notice that there's not, I'm gonna say not new buyers to say BS. If I notice that there's not new buyers and sellers entering, right? Like for some reason they're not able to attract more people to buy, or some reason not able to attract more businesses. Like businesses aren't saying, I'm going to go into that market, right? That's a big signal that that is a dwindling market, because markets either expanding or they're contracting. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you guys how to hedge against selecting a market that is actually contracting. Right? This is again one of the major reasons that people don't make it above the whole what's your offer thing, right? Which is nuts. It's so nuts. Anyway. Another big one is, okay, this is one of the biggest reasons here. And I'll shorthand this entire checklist with just this one lesson right here. We have all heard the term, okay, Eugene Schwartz, right? Eugene Schwartz, if you guys don't know, he is a legend. Okay, he's kind of like Michael Jordan for copywriting. He's one of them. He's a beast, okay, for advertising. He's amazing, okay? He's got a really awesome book called Breakthrough Advertising. And in there, one of the core concepts in there is this concept about the temperature of traffic. Okay, guys, I can't tell you. Again, this is one of those things. If you don't take anything else from what I'm teaching you right here in this, take this, because this is crazy. All right, there's hot traffic, there's warm traffic, there's cold traffic. Right. So there's hot traffic, warm traffic, and there's cold traffic. What I started noticing is I started deep diving into this. And guys, the way I deep dive, I have four. There's another bookshelf on the ground over there, but I have bookshelves all over the place. They're almost all chock full. When I have a question, I'll write the question down. I write the question, and then what happens is I will start rifling through the courses that I have, the podcasts that I have, not personally, like meaning I need to find answers. What I do is I go grab all the books off of the shelf that look like they could answer my question. And then my favorite thing to do is right here on this floor is what I'll do is I'll take legal pads and I will start to collect ideas and I will pile them in different corners of the room. And it's nerdy and it's fun, and I call it the Bat Cave. And so a lot of this comes from that. This is not my opinion. I want you guys to know that. The stuff I'm teaching here has nothing to do with opinion on this. This comes from a lot of data. It comes from a lot of research and reading and studying and going down deep with people that frankly are really freaking boring writers. Oh my gosh. Okay. But just, it's fun for me though. Okay. I geek out on this stuff, man. I'm the scientist when in that mode. I go deep with it. I'm like, this is so cool. It's so powerful. And so I'll spend like last Offermind. That's how a lot of the content that I was coming up with. It's the combination of things that I've learned from what I've observed, but it's also the combination of insane deep dive styled studying where I put headphones on and I put on styles of music that keeps you in the zone. And I did that for 3 weeks last time. And so please know, like what I'm showing you guys here on this, these are major hacks to the game and connections that like I made while in pursuit of those things. Anyway, so that being said, there's hot traffic, there's warm traffic, and there's cold traffic. Now I'm gonna combine a few ideas here to show you the aha. And this is why you want a red to come out of. Okay. So with hot traffic, you think about like hot traffic, we all know that hot traffic means that whoever is coming to you, they're aware of all the problems that you're already talking about, and they're aware of the solutions, a lot of the solutions that exist. Okay. In the warm traffic, these people are aware of the problems, but they're not aware of the solutions. Okay. Cold traffic, you can see where the pattern's going. Cold traffic is traffic that's not aware of problems, and they're not aware of solutions. One of the largest reasons I see people not successful with anything entrepreneurial is that they say things to me like, well, Stephen, we turned on cold traffic. And I'm like, my gosh, I really hope that you did not. Okay. Very few markets ever survive selling cold traffic. Why would you ever start there? Okay. And I know some people that they just don't understand what they're saying. And I'm totally that armchair quarterback when it comes to marketing, but I think what they mean is they're turned on warm traffic. But even then, ClickFunnels made freaking $10 million off a single webinar just selling hot traffic. They didn't even transition to warm. They're barely starting to transition to warm with things like the One Funnel Away Challenge. Okay. Stop trying to, I'm trying to tell you guys that when you identify the right hot traffic, when you identify the right red ocean, inside of it is hot, warm, cold. And you can make a crap ton of money just selling hot. Okay. There is another stage though past this. And I'm going to teach you that moving forward here a little bit. But what I want to show you is this. You can think of this in terms of education lengths. Okay. When it comes to hot traffic doesn't need, right, the bridge. I can think of it like an education bridge. The bridge required to sell someone who's hot traffic, they don't need that much education. Like I was in the website market when Russell came out with ClickFunnels and said, hey, here's ClickFunnels. That's why it was such a big deal to me. I was actively hiring people. I had coders and I was building websites. And he was speaking directly to me. I was his dream customer. Not only that, I was the hot market inside of his red ocean. Okay, I was the hot traffic, definitely. So when he came out and he said, my weird niche funnel currently making me 17 grand a day to had ethically knock it off in less than 10 minutes, right? That was his headline, something like that, for his webinar. The amount of education that I needed to get it, was very small. Okay, very, very tiny. For me to have that epiphany, it's not about the website. And I could drop that and move forward. Very small level of education required. For warm traffic, it's a little bit bigger and harder. You got to educate the customer more for them to make the purchase. That sucks. I don't like doing that. So I don't. Okay. And then cold traffic is this monstrous thing. Okay. And there's a lot of old school copywriters, or even now, who that's their take. Is they're like, first, what you're going to do is you're going to educate the customer on the problem so that your solution can come in afterwards. I'm not going to lie. I am massively against that. Okay. Why? Why would I do that? I'm not going to do that. The problems already exist. I don't need to educate them on the problem. The problem's already there. That's a harder customer for me to go sell. Okay. Here's what I'm getting at. And I promise this relates to what I'm walking through right here. Okay. I know when a red ocean is ugly and is a bust, when they have not successfully made the transition from selling hot traffic to cold traffic. I know that a market is not a foundation. I know a market is risky. Okay. The natural progression is this, right? They're going to start selling people into their market. And they're going to get all the easy buyers like me, right? I was an easy buyer for ClickFunnels when they found me. I was like, done. I'm going to buy that, right? But there's not an unlimited number of people out there. After a while, the hot traffic can kind of start to dry up. And they're forced. There's two actually things you can do, but most people don't ever do the second one. The first one, what they do is they go in and they're like, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to start selling warm traffic. I need to reach further and deliver more education to bring them to me so that a sale makes sense. That feels natural. It's actually the opposite of what you should do. And we'll get to that in a little while. Okay. But most markets don't survive that transition from hot traffic down to warm. And then that starts to dry up. Right? As they're going out and they're finding more customers, I got to keep this market alive, right? I need more and more buyers. I need more people. I need to expand this thing, right? And as they're doing that, right, again, that's one of the natural things to go do, although it's not the only option, but that's what most people do in the business world is I need more customers, right? There's more ways to grow the companies and grows the business. It's interesting, there's 4 ways, there's 3 ways to grow a company, but I'm going to wager there's actually a 4th. Actually building on Eugene Schwartz and Dan Kennedy. Oh, my Lanta. Holy crap. Okay. There's 3 ways to grow a company, right? You can get more customers. A lot of you guys know this. You get more customers. You can get them to pay more frequently, or you can just get them to pay more money in general, right? Sell them more stuff, or get more customers, or get them to pay more frequently. Those are the 3 ways to grow a company. I actually disagree. I think there's a 4th. And it's the reason why I believe ClickFunnels has exploded the way it has because a lot of these forces that are behind it. The 4th way to grow a company is by when you start to run out of hot traffic, don't go to warm. You just find another market. I'm going to show you an example that as we move forward here. Okay, let me finish this thought though, and I'll get into that in just a moment. There's actually 4 ways to grow a company. Let me just make a note of that here. It's very fascinating, actually. Okay, so check this out though. As we start to run out of warm, they're like, we got to start, we need more reach. And they start selling cold traffic, okay? This is what kills most markets. That is what gets rid of people, is they can't find additional people to go and sell. That's why it's such a big signal when you see that they are not reinvesting their cash to grow distribution channels, okay? Because what it means is they are having a hard time finding more blood, having a hard time finding more customers to bring into that solution. I'm giving you this education here for a lot of reasons, because there are signals you can look for when you're building your offers to be like, oh my gosh, this is a huge deal, right? So let me show you this real quick, okay? What you're doing, you're not actually creating customers when you're selling hot traffic. You're not. You're collecting customers. Okay? Because they already know that the problems are there. They already know the solution is there. The education that's required in order to get somebody to buy is very small. Very small. You're not actually, right? These guys, it's kind of like Beanie Babies and Pogs, right? There were people out there. It's these flash in the pan products that come out and then you never hear about them again. They kind of just disappear, right? Beanie Babies, Pogs, right? Pogs were the thing when I was in like elementary school, right? You don't hear about them again. Why? It's because they figured out how to sell to a crowd who is hot. But then once the hot is gone, they didn't think of ways to create new customers out of people who were not thinking about being a customer. Does that make sense? What you're looking for, this is like the ultimate test. This is the thing that I look for. This is the thing I look for in market selection that trumps everything else. I know that my red ocean is a foundation and not a fad, particularly off of this one thing. When a market has figured out how to not just collect customers, but create customers. Boom. Okay. This is the transition. So that's what I've come to call it, is when I move from customer collection to customer creation. Oh man, that's nuts, right? And not many markets survive the transition when they move to customer creation. Because most people don't know how to create customers. Right? But literally one of the reasons why Russell's doing the One Funnel Away challenge right now is to create customers. Okay, that's it. We're making customers out of people who are not planning on being customers, and most markets can't do that. And because they run out of lifeblood for the market and they don't know the other ways to go grow a company, they die, and the market leaves. Right? Beanie Babies and Pogs. Right? Beanie Babies, they're definitely still around. Right? Kind of almost a novelty thing. Right? Same with like Furbies. A lot of these little things that pop out, like. There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't exist that used to and made a lot of money when it came in, bam, but then they stopped finding customers. Kmart, Sears, right? A lot of these big companies that do disappear, what happens is, number one, they don't really evolve within their own space. But number two, one of the major reasons, though, is that they don't go create new customers out of people who are not planning on being customers. They don't put out more pieces of education, which is why you publish. You keep publishing because you are finding new blood by educating people on what you do. It's another plug for publishing. It's gotten to the point now where, like, if someone's not publishing, I just don't take them serious anymore. Okay? Seriously. Like, get over it and just do it. It'll change your life. It does so much stuff for you. It's ridiculous. But that's one of the reasons why. It's one of the easiest ways to create an education bridge from those who are not quite planning on being a customer of yours. So like, Stephen, I can't tell you how many times I get from people, Stephen, I don't like how much you yell. I'm like, well, great, get over it and leave my audience, okay? But now they're like, but now I love it. It's super awesome, right? And they've gotten over those barriers. You got giant eyeballs. Yeah, I get it. Okay, whatever. Okay, but what's cool about it is it's actually extending the education bridge to those who are not quite planning on being a part of my solution. I never am concerned with selling cold traffic. I just don't even try. Okay, cold traffic is something for me I don't even go for. I only collect customers. Who do I collect my customers from? The red ocean. The red ocean that is a foundation because they figured out how to go from customer collection to creation. They are the ones that are building my customer for me. Do you guys just hear that? Mic drop. Okay, that's huge. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Who should my customer be, Steven? I already have a product. Man, you should have solved that a long time ago. But second of all, a massive hack to the game is to find markets that have already created your customer. You pit against them in your messaging, and they make your customer for you. Most markets can't survive that. So when you find one that does, it's very easy to go make a crap ton of money off of it, right? I'm going to use the MLM space as an example. How many people have not heard of MLM? Right? Everyone and their mom knows about MLM. And everyone and their mom's been pitched on one before. And most people who are on this right now, or most people who see this in the future, you've probably been on one too, right? And we all have this like negative reaction to it. MLM. Why? Okay. What's fascinating is that space has survived, right? They're making customers out of people who were never planning on being customers. You keeping your options open? That's why it was one of the most secure things for me to go get into. You see what I'm saying? And people are like, Steven, why are you in the MLM space? You're in the offer creation thing. It's like, yeah, it's a terrible front-end business, in my opinion. It's a fantastic back-end one. Okay, it's amazing. Just keeps recruiting and we get more money. It's like, why am I going to stop it? It's all automated. Okay, but you see what I'm saying? It was a security for me to go and pitch myself against a red ocean called MLM. Because what did they figure out? There's new customers and there's new businesses and new sellers constantly, right? New buyers and sellers constantly being resold into there. They've moved way past customer collection. They are heavily in customer creation. Not many markets survive that. So when I was looking at that, I was like, dang, that's actually really smart for me to do. I'm not going to play it the way they play it. I've never done a phone meeting. I'll never do a hotel meeting. Okay, I'm not here to pitch anybody. I'm just telling you guys an example. That's why I knew. That's why I did that when I left ClickFunnels. As one of my first moves. Because I was like, well, I'm going to go choose something that's freaking bloody red. Red, like crazy red. Highly, insanely competitive. I want that. Because now I'm going to see what they're doing, and I'm going to walk through more of a checklist of what I need from the red as I move forward. But just understand, I'm just salting the oats. I'm making it. Can't even think of another term for it. I'm making it exciting to come to next session because I'm going to walk through what I look for in the red that creates the blue, right? And so I'm just walking through market selection right now, so you guys understand these principles and these concepts and why the game gets really risk-free when you start to play it this way. When you start it the other way, it's like, no wonder you're all freaking out, or no wonder someone goes nuts. Like, and I get it. I'm not throwing rocks at anybody. It's just I was doing the same thing. But since doing this, I accidentally became the category king in a market I was not planning on, that I created, right? And then I also have deliberately become the category king in a separate market in a year and a half. No one does. Like, people don't do that. Once I started realizing, I was like, oh my gosh. And it became really easy, right? That's what I teach. That's what I do. That's what OfferMind is. That's why this is the OfferMind Masterclass. There's tons of ways to make offers. There's tons of ways for sales messages and funnels. And it is insanely bloody red. There's so many techniques. Good. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing it. Okay, it's the easiest way to do it. It's far more methodical than maybe you might be thinking about with this stuff. But like, I just wanted to bring attention to this so you can see it. I sell in the MLM space because they move from customer collection to customer creation. I sell into the funnel space because they also are now moving from customer collection to customer creation. That is literally the reason why the One Funnel Away Challenge was created in the first place. Okay? Make sense? Cool. That's the next bullet point. I wrote it in blue, but it should be in green. Okay? So when they're not reinvesting cash, run. When they're growing, when the distribution channels are shrinking, run. Okay? When there's not more business buyers and sellers entering, run. Okay, when you're seeing ultimately that they are not creating new customers, run. Because it means that no one's reinvesting into marketing. They're killing their ads. They're probably not publishing like they were or never have been. And it's a flash in the pan market. It's a fad, not a foundation. And that's one of the major hacks of this entire game I could ever teach you in this, and probably one of the major key pieces I want you to understand from this first session here, okay? Okay. And again, a lot of you guys... so you can understand, like I'm looking at my notes here. Like I was saying, who wants to invest with me in Kodak? Who wants Beanie Baby accessories? Anybody? Who wants Pogs accessories? Like I was saying, those are just fast examples off the top of my head. But like you'd be like, no, that's stupid. Exactly. Why are you saying that? Because they're freaking gone. It was a fad, not a foundation ocean. I want a foundation ocean, okay? And then what I do is I leverage it That's where all my data comes from, not from my own head. I'm just a detective, not a genius. Okay? I'm a detective. And I figure out all the stuff that I need from the red, both from what to sell and what they're willing to buy. Okay? Which sounds like the same thing. It's actually not. Anyway. Okay. So that's the major core question of this whole thing. Is my ocean a fad or a foundation? And what I'm looking for specifically is the speed of the conversion into all the stuff that I'm talking about here, both checklists I just kind of walked through. Here's when it's good. Here's when it's bad. What's interesting is like what you notice is that actually massively affects the speed of conversion into your blue. Okay, so people could come over to the blue, but like painstakingly slow. Right. One of the things that really affects people's speed is how much pain they're actually experiencing. Anyway. Okay. So let me think through this piece real fast here. We might be done with the first session. Nice. Next session is going to be a bit long. Just a key piece, though. All right. Dunzo. Let me come over to the comments real fast. And first session there, we're ending it at 150, so I know when to chop. Okay. Actually, let me look at the comments here, and then what I'm going to do is like a little follow-up answering some of your questions, because there's actually there's a few cleanup pieces I want to make sure that I can hit here based on comments or questions and things like that. So let me come over there real quick. I want to teach 2 additional things here as I look at my notes. Yeah. Okay. Let me come over to the comments. Just throw the chat here. All right. Nice. How you doing? I'm not Steven. Hope you touch on using ClickBank with ClickFunnels. I'm talking about like higher level than that. The smarter you get, the less you speak, but the faster you speak it. Sweet. Emptiness. Okay. Cool. I'm just walking through the comments real fast. Drop any questions you guys got going on here. I'm just going to quickly breeze through them and make sure that we're ready to rock. Let's see. Less is more. Is it blasphemous to say that I might like Steven more than Russell? I don't know. Let's see. Dewey. Awesome. Business is fine. Good to see you, man. Cool. McCarthy has been teaching about picking online market first for 20 years. Sweet. We were all 99% the same DNA-wise. Focus on the 0.1%. Exactly. Too much learning. Focus on one. Exactly. Love it. Love it. Love it. Wish I would have found Steven years ago because I pretty much know now 90% of what he teaches. Took me 15 years to put it all together myself and realize these things are important parts. Would you give me money for a custom funnel? No. I don't really build for others right now. The closest thing I have to me building for others right now is my offer lab. You literally go to myofferlab.com. Very, very important there. Let's see. So as a Facebook audience growth course creator, I'm pitching against other platforms, blogs. Exactly, Samantha. Yeah, exactly. You got to find, and we're going to get into the messaging pieces and move forward. This is just such a foundational concept that, I mean, there's not anyone that I've really found teaches a lot of this. Okay? Because what you do is you use it to leverage your offer and your sales message. The funnel, guys, a funnel is an offer and a sales message. That's all a funnel is. The fact that we put it on the internet doesn't make it a funnel. It already was a funnel before it was on the internet. These concepts have been taught for decades. Sweet. They've been taught forever. The difference between teacher and master is, did they inspire you to change your life with their teaching? That's not my job to change your life. I see what you're saying, though. I love Steven can actually get all of his knowledge and woohoo out of his mouth for us to learn. Super cool. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Just keeping up with your comments here. Got a lot of them. Just making sure that I just want this to be really valuable. You know what I mean? One thing is get over what you're not. One, take a lot out. Boom. Love it. Give me a shout out. Okay. Become the anti in your market. Sweet. Yeah, I'm excited because I'm going to teach you guys specifically for the funnel community how to actually use this stuff moving forward here. Controversy over Al Gore. It's funny. The red is the source of my customers. Yeah. Creating something out of your own, though. Is the red market missing it? Customers get it only if they pay thousands of dollars to lawyers. Oh, I don't get it. Creating something out of your own, though. Is that okay if the red market is missing it and customers get it only after they pay thousands of dollars through lawyers? I think you know the answer to that. Weird question. I'm building something that I paid lots to get. I got it only after I paid $80,000 in lawyer bills. I don't know how to answer that. Just realized I can block people on chat. Yeah, isn't that nice? It is nice. It's great where I got conflicting beliefs and I got red. Thanks, he's for Dominic. Okay, cool. Just moving faster. Can you give an example of conflicting beliefs? Yeah. Let's walk through that one as well. Let's see. Seal influencers are podcasters. No, seal influencers are more than that. I'm talking about size of lists, basically, is how I determine the size of the influencer. Is this being reposted until midnight? Let's see. Moving down. I did the 3 shares, but the share funnel did not get sent. Anyone else having the issue? It should. It doesn't come from me. It comes from UpViral. Sometimes it takes them a little bit, I've noticed, but you should get it. Where are seal influencers important to us? Didn't understand that part. It's usually you're delivering so much value. Man, thank you very much. What's the name of the category book? Play bigger. Because the seal influencers, boom. Sorry, I'm just going fast. I'm trying to go fast with this. Little breaks here. That was absolutely fabulous. Thank you. Unbelievable. Thank you very much. Might have learned from anyone else. Appreciate that. How do you spell that author's name? He's mentioned. Oh, Eugene Schwartz. Most of us are hot traffic who know this already. Yeah, probably. I want to show you how to leverage it, though, moving forward. Jump the shark. Awesome, powerful. Can't believe Toys R Us. Yeah, exactly. What if I sell food recipes? What market does that fall in? That's not for me to answer. That's the point. You got to choose what market you're going to pit against. Still waiting for the bill at the end. Can't believe it's free. Thanks, dude. Good to see you on here. Another great business education session. This is amazing content. You'll see, could you repeat the point of how you know who's a C-level influencer? It's basically just on list size. Just because they're publishing doesn't mean that they're automatically a C. A's publish like crazy. They have massive content. Thank you for showing me how it's done. No expensive software to deliver such as valuable content. Yes, how much for the class today? See, greetings from Palm Beach. Thanks, Larson. Thank you so much. How much for the class? My first live experience with Sales Funnel Radio. Oh, dang. Is he reading YouTube questions or questions from the Facebook comments? I'm reading them from the YouTube. What's up, Ryan Jones? All right, Steve, I just started my podcast. Nice. My question is enough podcast only, or should I have video content creation as well? It's a different topic. I'm going to focus on markets here. Can I hire out someone to publish? Oh, can you hire someone to publish for you? We should probably walk through a content machine here soon, but it's going to be its own course. I got a huge process for my content. Would residual income be the anti-market for 9 to 5? I don't think so. Got the share funnel. Sweet, good, great stuff. So much worth to me. Would you let your lack of expertise in an area limit which markets you're trying to enter into? No. I'll tell you guys how to leverage the red moving forward, but I'm glad you're asking these kind of questions because they should help tremendously. Does C-level in any way denote their capability, or just with, yeah, you're really looking at distribution. How do you create a sales message without knowing what your offer is first? Those are very important questions to ask. because anyway, we'll get to that. I have different markets on health, bodybuilders, menopause women, doctors. So I need different sales copy for each. So multiple funnels. Yes, no. Jude, I would still just choose one. Lead with one. It's like Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins has got a bunch of stuff on relationships, but he also teaches things on around wealth. He just leads with one. So I would choose a product, whatever it is that you want to really wrap your whole value ladder and business around. And then the others are easy to piggyback off of. But when you start with two, it just messes with it. Shout out to all the sharks from Nice. Appreciate it. Do you have Facebook ads for hot, warm only? Do you use for cold? We don't drive. I'm going to get into that. You guys are asking great questions, but let me keep going here. Can't wait to the next session. This is addicting. It's awesome stuff, isn't it? You know when Funnel U is opening back up? I don't know. I don't represent ClickFunnels. I just contracted with them. Are you going to cover different markets within MLM? No. You look at MLM as a whole as a market. Which skill do you hire first when building a team? I literally just did a podcast episode about that. Guys, I'm talking about markets here. Let me focus on that here. I'm going to teach you guys something real fast because I want to teach you how the market shifts. Okay? When you start out, so let me jump into this. I can feel myself getting into it. Your market changes. Okay. All right, health, right? Again, health, wealth, relationships. I'm just keeping it up here so we get to keep the same framework, right? So that we all can move from the same place. You have to understand that your market actually, it changes, it shifts. I want to imagine with me real quick that you wake up one day and you're living on a beach and you live on a coast somewhere and you wake up and this is pre-technology and you wake up one day and you're like, I need to go sell some of my goods. And you've got a bunch of trinkets and you open up the door and you're like, I'm going to go sell my stuff today. And you put your little funny hat on and you put your trinkets in your bag or your cart or whatever. And you put where do you push your cart? Where do you push it? Okay. This is important to understand because I feel like because tech is here, so many of us don't understand the simple principle. Okay. Think about this. Let's say that I've got this coast here and there's the ocean over there or I'm on an island or whatever. And I wake up, my little hut. Here's my little hut. Okay. I got my little hut right here. That's terrible. Okay, but I got my little hut right there. Where am I going to push my cart to go sell my goods? Exactly, Michelle, where people are. Where people are. This is important. Where people are. All right, now think about this. There's people here. What also, right, is it likely that you are going to be the only one who's selling things at that physical location to all those people? No, there's going to be other people selling goods and services there as well, right? And so you go and you push your little cart over here. And what's interesting is this is what's fascinating. This is what we can call the red ocean, all right? This is the red ocean. It's red. There's a lot of people. There's competition there. It's fierce, right? It's kind of cutthroat. You don't sell, you don't eat. They're going to get really fierce with you, right? And so you think about this, like one of the things that I've noticed that happens a lot, especially in the funnel building world, is because we're trying to build a blue ocean, because people want this blue ocean thing, what happens is they will go and they will start out of the sake of them being new. I have a new ocean. I have a new opportunity, something that no one's ever seen, something that's never existed before. Oh my gosh, right? What's fascinating about this is if I come over here, people will, because their product is new, instead of walking this way to these people, they walk this way where there's nowhere. You know what's interesting about a blue ocean? It doesn't exist. Blue oceans aren't there, right? By definition, it doesn't exist. Because it doesn't exist, it can't be analyzed. Because it can't be analyzed, it's really freaking risky for you to take a new product, even no matter how amazing it is, and go to a place where there aren't people just for the sake that you're new. Okay? Who you sell to is the red. That's who you sell to. That's what I'm getting to with this whole thing here, right? Where it's just you, right? Population 1. Okay? No one's there. So here's what's fascinating. Is you have to understand that your market shifts. So when we say market, people toss that around all the time. I'm marketing. What does that mean? All right, what is marketing? Marketing has nothing to do with logos. It's got nothing to do with slogans or color schemes like I was saying. To market means to go to where all the people are hanging out and sell your things to the place that's busiest. That's your market. But as you start to sell your goods, as you start to sell and you sell and you sell and you sell, right? And you sell and you sell, suddenly people start coming closer and closer to your hut to get your thing. Does that make sense? And pretty soon as you sell and you sell and you sell and you sell and you sell, what happens is your market location literally physically changes. Okay, so while I am marketing to this red, the more popular I get, the more fuel I create in order to lead people and become more attractive for them to start coming to me. You know what? There's so many of us. Let's just go create our own place to start hanging out and meeting. It's actually meet. Okay, the first product that pulls them from the red into the blue, I call that your core offer. And we're going to walk through that and all the stuff you guys have been bringing up here as we move forward. Okay, understand that the core offer is the thing that pulls them from one side to the other. You only need to do that once. That's why I look so hard and I work so hard to choose markets that are actually sustainable, that are a foundation, not a fad. Make sure it's not leaving, right? Okay, so if I come over here and I'm looking and say, okay, we got the red, we got one product, a core offer that's pulling them down here. Where's my market now? Okay, now the market physically has changed locations. This is one of the benefits of having a list of buyers. I'm not selling to the red anymore. I have a list of buyers in my own pocket, right? I love the book. Again, a lot of stuff that I teach, it does come from other people, right? Definitely. I'm just combining in a way that hasn't been combined. Okay, so I'm like, someone's already taught this. Yeah, get over it. All right, it's still true though, right? So if I come over here and I start looking at this, like, look, one of my favorite books talks about this. It says, it's Ready, Fire, Aim, and there's literally a page. Yeah, I can see in my head. It's on the left, bottom left half. And it says, hey, the reason why you're trying to get as many customers, buying customers as possible, is because as soon as you buy as many customers as you can, and you have this list of people who've actually taken their wallet out, the reason you do that is because now basically what it says is because you have a new market. You have a physical location that is different. This core offer is still pulling people in all the while. But the reason you do it is because any subsequent offer you create and put out to those people afterwards is pretty much guaranteed for success. Okay, that's why. Because a second buyer is always easier than the first buyer, right? The second yes is always easier than the first yes. Not all buyers are created equal, but a buyer is still a buyer, still a buyer, still a buyer, right? We've probably heard that phrase. Okay, so understand that your market shifts and adjusts. And specifically two big moves. The first move is you identifying which red to go into, which is why I just did what I did. But second of all, the other part, though, is you have to understand that once you have a lot of people coming in, that's when I go create other things in my value ladder. That's when I go create things that are more expensive and sell it right back to these people. I don't sell it to these people. I sell my more expensive stuff to my existing customer base because the second yes is always easier than the first. That's why I do that. Understand that while you're doing this, like conceptually understand like what you're doing. So if the messaging, this is very key for a lot of what we do, and I'm going to bring you through value ladder design moving forward. Okay, as we do this, though, I need you to look at this so that you can step back and be like, first of all, where's my market now? Okay, that's a different answer that will come when you ask it after you've already been successfully selling. Where's my market? You're still selling into this red, but now you've been, that is the development of a blue, is when you have people coming over to your solution where no one else is. Okay, so the market changes, the market adjusts. Some of the things I'm looking for, we're asking about conflicting beliefs. I want to see if people are starting to question the solution that they're buying. Like if a red ocean, a market, has this general belief, you know what? Real estate is the way for me to get wealth. You're like, sweet, awesome, really, really cool. And then someone else walks up. They're like, I believe that, but like, not all real estate is. Right? Differing opinions amongst customers in the red ocean, big signal, huge signal, right? Because then you can go and you can write off that. And be like, well, yeah, real estate, right? Now the blue ocean I could build off of that is real estate in eBay, right? Is the example I think .com Secrets gives, right? It's still real estate, but within something else. Or someone's going to walk up and say, you know, it's not about real estate at all anymore. You got to come over here to the stock market. Right? Whenever there's this rise in conflicting beliefs, and typically it's when a customer base starts to lose trust in the business. Let's say something goofy happens or whatever, trust starts to begin to be broken, and suddenly people are not so, they're like, this was awesome, but like, dang it, I'm kind of questioning this. Ooh, that's perfect. That means that it's a great way for you to go in and say like, hey, I'm actually willing to go, and when you find what those messages are, and this all causes homework, right? Definitely. But I always hated when somebody said, Stephen, how well do you know your customer? And I'm like, what am I supposed to know about them? These are the things. That always drove me nuts. What am I supposed to know about my customer? This is it, okay? Anyway, when it comes down to it, when it comes to choosing one of these reds, you know what's funny is I work my tail off to sell. I have several $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 product options, and I work hard to sell them. But because I started adhering to other models that just had a better customer and who were willing to pay more money, we make almost more money with just a few buyers that are really expensive, than all the smaller stuff. And you're like, if someone's like, well, duh, just hear me out for a second, okay? Think about this. The reason I bring this up is that I am very careful to choose markets where they are already used to spending a lot of money. That's why I'll never go sell a knick-knack. That's why that was the reason why I didn't go into e-com. I love e-com, but I didn't go into e-com because I was looking at the model. I want to see what price points these people are typically used to spending, right? It's like with any, like a house. Like if I'm going to go like in my house right now, I'm in a home office right now. If I'm in my house, if I'm looking for houses, and someone's like, I got this house for you. It's this great deal. It's only 10 grand. What's your knee-jerk question to that? What's wrong with it, right? I want that. For whatever market I'm going to go and I'm going to sell to, I want there to be an existing belief about prices, existing price levels, price points. And if people in there are always questioning, oh, dang it, it's $7 instead of $5, that's it. I don't want that customer. And a lot of times designing this ahead of time and just being cognizant of it before we ever get to a funnel, offer, or message, right? But being cognizant of those things on which one you're going to pit out against is far more determinant of you making a lot of money versus not. Okay? You might have you could take the exact same offer, the exact same sales message, the exact same funnel, and just change the red ocean you're pitting against, and you're going to make more money. That's actually what happened to me at the beginning of last year when I left ClickFunnels, right? I left ClickFunnels and I didn't have a product, an offer, or a funnel. I didn't have anything. And I built it all from scratch very quickly because we didn't have any revenue source. We had nothing. And it was successful. It brought like 100 grand in like 2 months, and then another 100 really fast after that. And, then I had to slow things down for other reasons that I've told you guys about before. What's fascinating though is about 6 weeks in, realized I was selling the wrong customer. And instead of changing the offer, which is most people what they run to, or something in the funnel is wrong, the easiest switch is just to switch who you're talking to. And I realized I was speaking to a market that was not used to price levels that I wanted to sell at. So all I did is I changed the market, the whole market. Okay? I changed who I was speaking to inside the market. And what was nice about that is it really helped me get very clear not only in who I'm selling, but it was a better customer. The success rate was higher. They weren't as whiny as the group was before. They did things. They weren't looking for me to answer and solve all the problems in their life, right? It was fascinating because the first market that I was selling to, I became their babysitter and life coach. And that is not what I'm in business for. There's other guys who are willing to do that, and I'm not. Okay. The new group that I was selling into, though, they were awesome. They were killers. I would be like, hey, do this. And they would like do it. And then all these success stories started and all these, because they're actually taking action. They're actually doing stuff. So I'm bringing this up so you understand that like when you're choosing this, there's a lot of things to think of ahead of time. And it's usually the reason why someone isn't successful rather than, that's why I keep coming back to it, offer, funnel, sales message. Has far less to do with that, far more to do with your positioning amongst other markets and what market you're coming out of and being thoughtful about who you're selling to. Did you know they're all used to paying 5 to 10 grand for something? Like, sweet. I only need 1 or 2 of those a month to really make a dent in the wallet. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And so you can pre-frame and preset a lot of cards in your favor ahead of time so that you're able to go in and build a successful business with C-level funnel building skills, right? And D and F level offer and sales message creation skills. And it's got way less to do with that and far more to do with what I'm talking about here. And anyway, that's right there. All right, so we'll cut there then. So we had from 2 hours. That's what kicks back up, and then we cut again at 2:14, so we'll chop it out. Sweet. All right, let me come back over to questions. Make sure there's no, again, just dire follow-up ones moving forward. Multiple sub-niches in the dentistry. We're doing content marketing. How do I know which sub-niche we should focus on and publish for? I can't answer that for you guys. I can't tell you what markets you need to go into. What I'm giving you is a criteria of things to start to look for. This is what a marketer is. It's got, like I said, nothing to do with logos. If that's what they're doing branding. That's not marketing. Okay, marketing is understanding the markets that are around the ecosystem and which one you should attach to and fight against. I'm going to talk about that more moving forward here. But anyway, I found that in the Forex market that everyone is over trading, which is blowing their account because no one uses futures options to hedge. There you go. Is it Tomo? Right? You're finding something. There's a belief. There's something inside of there that you can start to use as a banner. I'm going to talk about that moving forward. It's super cool. I'm dealing with a lot of B2B selling programs in the business for teams, looking for more examples on funnels for B2B. You'll have to go and start Googling it. Okay, I would look at things like definitely look at ClickBank. Definitely look at the ClickFunnels space. If you just said that very question inside ClickFunnels, people will probably say like, yeah, this is what I do, or PM me or whatever. Then include that in your sales message as a problem you have solved. Exactly, Steven. Boom. Create a sales message for each sub-niche within the dentistry space. You can, but that just takes forever. I don't really do that. Let's see. That's it. I'm going to buy my own island now. Sorry, Kevin. You said there's a fourth way to grow a company. I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm talking about markets, not growing the company yet. Isn't that just another way of saying get more customers? What's the difference? No. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Anyway, I'll move forward. We'll get to it. This is marketing design at itself. Thank you very much. But in college classes, thanks. Get more customers random. Find a new market as already existing customer collection. It's a school of fish to start to come eat. Yeah. So one more follow-up session. Let's talk about that. The 4 ways. But then specifically, let's do like there's a really interesting concept here. Okay, yeah. Let me show this to you. Giant eyeballs, you like that? That stuff. Thanks for the awesome. Do you have any tips for finding new markets that are ripe for blue oceans? Any tips for finding new markets that are ripe for blue oceans? No, because I don't look for new markets that are ripe for blue. I look for old markets that are red and been there forever. How do you find markets to analyze in the first place? I don't know your thing. I can't answer those questions for you. You all know your markets more than I do. Way more than I do. Colton, I want to sell the teens even if they don't have money. How can I make it profitable? I would change your customer. Take my money, flying wallet message. Where can I find this? I need info for our agency. I'm just doing it right now. It's live till midnight each night. If you're on my list, you'll find out. Thank you. I don't really know where to find markets. Right. A lot of you guys need to become cognizant of this thing. That's what I'm saying. If it's brand new, like I understand, like, holy crap. What you're looking for is a market is typically a solution. And there's little micro ones in there, but there's a solution, right? Like the iPhone. That was a solution. There's a bunch of companies that offer that solution now. You know what I'm saying? The market is, anyway, I don't really know how to find markets. You got to keep working with it. I want to coach I want to coach teams, how to make it profitable. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the next session here. Let me write it down so we make sure we say that because I'm going to build off of some things that ClickFunnels teaches with this. I had to jump off for a few minutes. How do we catch your next class? Same page. It'll go live at 2 p.m. Mountain, so I'm going to jump off here in a moment. Starting from 0, who did you ask? Start asking questions to build your product. We're going to get to that. I'm just talking about market selection as a whole. Next session is all about what I need from it in order to go build the blue. Would you run an ask campaign to discover how red a good or ugly is? All that stuff, definitely. I'm not going to give you guys, if I sell to private school kids, parent coaching for their kids. Yeah, then you're selling to parents, not kids. I'm looking for the dancing niche. I want to market dance instructors. They don't spend money for promoting, but customers are spending lots of money, so you need both buyers, sellers, or just one to decide. I'm not going to give a threshold. I'm just looking at strength. I'm making sure that there are things that are there that people are doing with that. Which books help me understand this market concept you're explaining at a deeper level? There's a bunch. I got a bookshelf literally full of them. Okay. We're going to go on the 4 ways to grow a company a little bit later. That has to do more with market design. And then we're going to go through the 3 things. There's 3 major criteria that I look for to make sure it is my dream customer. But I'm talking about market selection. We're going broad, big broad, right? Next, we're going to go through what we need from the red in order to build a successful blue. As part of that, we'll start talking more about actual dream customers. But for right now, we're not even looking at that stuff. Nice. Okay, thanks, brother. By the way, I call you the anti-Hitler. I'll meet you in the upcoming years. Explain it to you. Your story is changing my life. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. This is awesome. Love it. Hey, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate this a lot. I will do my next session here at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And we're gonna dive deeply into what now we need from the actual red. And a lot of this is my personal checklist. A lot of what I just shared with you guys, I know a lot of people teach that stuff, but most don't know it. Okay, and so it's way better than my marketing degree. We never talk about this stuff ever. Okay, but what I'm going to share with you guys in the next session will be specifically about how to go in and grab things from the red ocean that creates the blue, so that you don't have to be a creative genius, right? You can just move forward. If you guys did like that, please go ahead and give me a little thumbs up, a little feedback. If you guys go to sjlreview.com, meaning Stephen Joseph Larson, sjlreview.com. I'd love your honest feedback on how this happens. Those reviews help me and be very helpful. We'll see you guys at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and I'm going to teach you guys how to build a blue from the red.